Where's the error message? Where's the error message? I've become accustomed to this. Yes, last time it didn't do this either, but the point still stands. For how many years have I waited on the error message?
Decker.
I understand. I'm live right now complaining.
No, you're
Joshua
not.
Fernandez says hello. Yes, I am. I see myself right here.
You do? Because I don't see myself right there. Might work if I hit the play button.
That would do it. That would do it. So, hello World Wide Web. I'm Decker Shadow, the internet personality with the best hair. And welcome to Live and Wired, episode 65. Smile and play. Joining as always, we have that long-haired creepy guy.
Legs.
And his beautiful, luscious legs. And the sequel to Patricia, Cat.
Hey! Greetings, foolish mortals. 'Tis I, Cat.
Grosvenor McCaffrey asks, what's up? We being happy little entertainers here, or we being honest?
Well, the sky is up.
I don't mean literal, I mean, god damn it.
The roof is up.
Aaron the Saiyan on Twitch says, what's up? So, we get a lot of similar questions. Oh boy.
Dave Turner just said 1 a.m. and time to party. Oh, yes. I hope your body doesn't hate you afterwards.
How 4 more episodes to episode 60? Maybe not. That's a number you're not allowed to say without risking the yellow dollar sign.
68 plus 1.
The 68 plus 1, or the 70
minus 1.
Or the 3 score and 9.
Do you want to just make a quadratic equation? I had to help my sister with her math homework, and we're all doing algebraic equations right now.
Oh, fucking love algebra. I always loved it as a kid.
Where were you when I needed help with my sister's homework?
I was off in special school. I was like that was the only good thing, is like they were kind of frustrated that they kept running out of more advanced math to teach me, so they had the algebra books and bring those out, and I'm like, yay.
No, a couple days back, my sister is doing online learning because she is still in school, and she was like, I need help. I'm like, oh.
Charles Ellsbury asks, why is Pinhead in the thumbnail? That is a lovely question. I never bothered to actually throw a news sheet together, but do not worry, for Patricia has been hard at work coming up with actual news for us to talk about. And Patricia, too.
One day I'm just gonna be mad and just write Patricia 2 in my name, and every one of my friends is gonna be like, why is it?
Creed Nation dropped $4.99 saying, what's up? The roof, sky, universe, and God. That is what's up.
Cthulhu, I thought you were deep in the ocean.
Wrong God. But
Jimmy Cthulhu, hello.
We could sign up for breaking alerts. No notifications, but we have a Deadline article about how HBO is making a Hellraiser series development deal, Halloween's David Gordon Green to direct early episodes. That is why is in the thumbnail. Exclusive, HBO has made a deal to develop a series from the classic horror franchise Hellraiser with Halloween Helmer David Gordon Green. God damn, is everything a tongue twister? I'm not even a sentence in.
It's like I wrote this. It's like I tried to be as alliterative as possible to confuse you.
Oh god, trying to read some of the lines that you put for me in this episode we're putting together. I think I had to retake one line like 15 times because I just couldn't get it.
It's like that one episode of Doctor Who with David Tennant where he was on the moon and he said a lot of things with Ian because he has a natural Scottish accent and he had to do an English accent. The writers decided to put a bunch of words together in one sentence with Ian in it, and he's like, I'm like, Tommy, he did it in one take or a million. Either or I'm okay with.
So, yes, they set to direct the pilot and several more initial episodes that brings this to the small screen for the first time Pinhead, the iconic pincushion domed villain, who heads up a group of pasty-faced villains sent from hell known as the Cenobites. Well, that's a pretty not very well informed about the series way to put it.
I'm now wondering if there are actual pinhead pin cushions out there for for crafters who are big horror fans. And if not, I gotta
Probably.
get. Oh,
Demon Orc on Twitch says, "Hey, Decker, Creepy, and Cat," and "Hi, Patricia, if she is there. Not yet, but she should be in a bit, and we will let her know."
fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's
this,
I have to ask you something though, Decker. I mean, put a pin for now in the idea about pinhead pin cushions for horror fans because we need to look into that later. Anyway, Decker.
Okay, I'm just skimming over this, and I'm like, okay, so there's not really much they know about it except a few people working on it. Here's the history of Hellraiser. We already know that, so yeah.
I have sad news.
Okay.
They do exist,
Ah.
but they're all crafty and all available on Etsy.
Oh, okay.
Some of them are actually crocheted, and they're very
cool.
nicely done.
Very nice. Decker, there's
Yes?
something a bit I'm curious about regarding this. How do you feel personally about one of your favorite and most cherished horror movie franchise being turned into a lowly television show?
To be honest, I feel like Hellraiser has been dead since 4. 4 was like the last one where I'm like, this is getting really bad, but I still feel like it is Hellraiser.
Which one was 4? Was 4 the one that was kind of like Jacob's Ladder, Silent Hill, with the detective who was an asshole, or was that the one with the?
No, that was
weird-
Inferno. I can't remember which number Inferno was.
Inferno was like 5 or 6, I think.
Okay,
But
was
4
the one with
four
the
was
creepy sex
Bloodlines.
club? Okay, so okay.
4 was the one where it took place in 3 different time periods. It was supposed to be
Yeah.
a trilogy, but they squished it all into one movie.
Office meddling, gotcha.
And certain time periods had far higher budgets than others.
But yeah,
I really
yeah.
wish they did more stuff in the past because of it. Like, I'm interested how it didn't work in the past.
Yeah, they had a whole movie ready for the past, and they're like, nah, that's actually just Act 1 now. Like, oh.
What?
Okay,
Is
let's
really
make this
gonna be
work.
Like Lord of the Rings in 4 hours. Decker, would you sit through a 4-hour Pinhead movie?
If it's done well, oh hell's to the yes. Hell's to the
Lord of the
yes.
Rings movie was
Hellraisers to the
yes.
yes. Because it's Hellraiser, Hellbound Heart is. I'll stop now.
Be right back. I am apparently being summoned.
Red by Nature asks, "You think Hellraiser has Lovecraftian elements to it?" Both in the fact that some of the sequels were based on kind of Lovecraftian horror and then turned into a Hellraiser movie, yes, but also the original, the Hellbound Heart, to an extent, a few concepts maybe, but not really to the degree that you would get from Lovecraft. Hello? Frozen creepy? Oh dear. Run! Okay, that didn't fix it. That did not fix it at all. Would you guys want a female Pinhead? Imagine the deviant art. What I don't have to imagine. It exists. Yes, heck is wrong with the interweb. That was actually, I think that was Dark Horse Comics.
Are you talking about the one with the girl, the daughter of the one guy becomes a Pinhead?
I think, wasn't she the lady in the original movie?
Yes. Hi,
but
I'm
then
back.
They brought her back for a sequel that was about an abusive relationship that she killed the guy, and then he is weird.
Yeah. Also, sorry, I went quiet for a second there because Decker started talking about Hellraiser, and then he froze on my end, and then it just sounded like he was speaking with the voice of Legion because like only every fourth syllable or so was coming through.
Same with me. I thought my internet was screwing up. That's why I hung up and then came back again.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate squash.
I don't think I've had squash, at least not much of it.
Context, my mother just gave me food.
I enjoy food. I very much enjoy food.
He does.
There was a, I don't know if you two kids, you watched the Unis Honest?
No.
What?
He's talking about the Markiplier series, where basically every day for a year.
Markiplier and Ethan, thank you.
Sorry, I didn't know the name of the other guy. Are doing a
Crank
video
gameplays, if you will.
Do a video every day for a year, and then when the year is up, they're deleting the channel. Which then everyone's like, we'll just download it before it gets deleted. We have the technology. We just won't repost it.
That's not the point. The last episode, they ate a lot of onion.
I do that whenever I get sick.
Or maybe the second to last episode. I don't know. Me and Charlie, we watch it when we go to bed.
Oh, okay.
So they can talk about how we're all going to die one day, and I can be like, that's a pleasant thought to sleep to.
That's a great thought to sleep to. I remember, I think I watched a few other episodes. I remember the nettle pot episode, and I'm sitting here going, and the PTSD using it. Freaking nettle pots is now creeping back in my brain.
I just like watching the Markiplier chug through a bowl of onion, and I just leaned over to Charlie, and I'm like, it's not because he's a masochist. He just wants to know if his body can handle all that onion.
Raw or cooked, and what type of onion? Because if he's eating Vidalia onions, it's not as painful.
I'm not sure what kind of onion. They started with a raw onion, then Ethan tried to make some French onion soup. He made boiled onions.
That's not how you do French onion soup. You cook the onions and render them down for a long-ass time.
Well, he started for like 45 minutes, just sitting there stirring the onions on heat.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not the biggest fans of onion, I don't think. They weren't the biggest fans beforehand. And I'm sitting there like, I'm looking at Charlie, I'm like, I feel like I could do this challenge myself.
No.
I could say, give me a couple of bags of onions, and I'll eat that in a day, and I'll be fine-ish. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I got an idea. We'll just watch The Stand, and instead of actually drinking for The Stand, instead you're just going to eat a giant spoonful of raw onion. And suffer that way.
Why not?
I'm actually a little bit curious from a psychological perspective what this would do to Dicker's intestine and his responses.
Biological and you'll be able to breathe for the next 3 years.
True.
And you might have no allergy issues for a while. Because whenever I had a bad nasal issue, my grandma would always cook up onions and butter and some brown sugar to cut off the harshness. And she's like, "Eat this. Here's a small bowl of caramelized onions. Eat these, you will feel better."
See, my mother had a pretty simple solution to the kids feeling a bit under the weather. She was like, no, but she was really into like new age healing stuff, but she wasn't into it to the point of actually going through and getting all of the herbs you need and stuff. She was more the dollar store kind of thing, so it's like, hey, here you're sick. You know what's good for sicknesses of any kind? Ginger.
Oh, yeah.
However, I have no idea what the hell I'm going to get that from, so here's some Canada Dry.
My tummy hurts. I don't want to go to the doctor. Here, my son, Canada Dry. Enjoy it. Yo, another thing my grandma used to do if I had really bad sniffles, instead of doing onions because she didn't feel like cooking, this was a thing that she did to also my mother. She used to have this little teeny tiny jar of Chinese mustard. Now, for those who don't know why I'm making a big deal out of it, Chinese mustard is a lot hotter than standard. Mm-hmm. And it's evil. So if you had a really bad case of the sniffles, like could not breathe through your nose, bad case of the sniffles, she'd open that jar up, get like a teeny tiny spoon, give you a spoonful and go, eat this.
No Desire 91 on Twitch says Canada Dry solves all. Yes, I'm not arguing. I mean, that's when Charlie feels bad, I get her some Canada Dry.
So, Kat, your story about the Chinese mustard, it reminds me of that sketch Decker did on his review. Yeah.
What is it?
Boys. Oh, gee golly, I really shouldn't.
It's cherry flavored.
Oh, okay.
That's the sort of thing that you and I should have. We should have known each other before you did that. It really does.
No, but it's just like, it's It was. I used to be afraid of that little jar of Chinese mustard that is no longer in the fridge because Grandma, regretfully, is now in a home.
Oh.
Yeah.
Creep
Although-
Nation dropped $4.99 saying, "Give me an onion. I'll leave it in the sun until it turns brown and sprouts little hairs. I hate onions so much that I parodied a scene from Shrek."
I used to hate onions a lot too when I was a kid. I'm fine now with cooked and onion rolls and all that stuff. But if you give me a raw onion on my hamburger, I will protest.
Yeah, they're not as good raw, but I do. I actually was one of the few people. I was the only person in our household who liked onions, like at all. Nobody else did. In fact, they tried to get me to not eat onions because they thought it was weird and unnatural.
Onion?
There's nothing wrong with a raw onion. It's just really burning. Like,
Yeah.
it's a little
I
painful to
prefer
eat, but other
I
than
prefer them
that,
cooked.
and
Yeah.
also then you're burping for a while and you just keep tasting that because it's like you're getting punched in the middle of your head into your face with onion every once in a while.
So, speaking of onions, I just remembered.
But other than that, nothing wrong with it, really.
I just remembered something about holes, and I wish Patricia was here to hear about it. So, in the movie Holes, they had two types of onions. They had actual real onions that they would plant in the ground for, few shots. But the onions that they had to eat were onion, but there was an apple in the middle. So it wouldn't be as abrasive for the kids to eat it. But one day the guy on the
Cheating
set
bastards!
but one guy on the set was like, come on, we're gonna eat some onions, and actually got the onions and made the kids made Shia LaBeouf eat an actual raw onion, and he thought it was just an apple onion. Poor Shia LaBeouf.
That had to be painful.
That explains a lot.
It was Shia LaBeouf and the guy who plays Zero. So it was like them accidentally eating actual onions. Poor guys.
Anyway, next
Next piece of news.
piece of news. Or does Kat? Do you want to do your piece of news real quick?
I'd like to do it without a piece of kielbasa in my mouth.
Fair point. So we'll go to the next piece of news.
I was always taught that it was pronounced kobase.
I was taught kielbasa.
Well, my grandfather was Polish.
Okay, my family, which is not Polish. I got German. I got Polish. Although I
Mine
do
is
like a
Scott
good
Irish,
roast.
so I have no idea. My family are Ulster Scots, so no idea what you're talking about. At least on one side, anyway.
My mom wants to do the 23andMe to actually see if what is in our body, what's in our body, our heritage. I go, I'm interested, but also could I do a little bit more information about what diseases I might catch when I'm older? Because you're not telling me anything.
Anthony Hudock asks, "Did you get Doom Eternal?" No. EDF Iron Rain.
Deadman Seltzer donated $5 and said, "Not even culinary school made me like onions. I can't even find a decent way to cook them to make me like them. Onion bagels. It's more bagel than onion. Crap ton of cream cheese. You won't taste a thing." Which, another fun onion fact. My mom was also in culinary school.
I just onion bagels. Usually, the way I do that, I don't have cream cheese. I put those together with a couple slices of processed cheese, fried egg, over easy, and a couple of slices, a thin slice of Hillshire Farms smoked ham.
That doesn't sound good.
There's a little breakfast sandwich there.
Yeah. So, fun fact, my mom also went to culinary school, and she was known as the onion woman because she was the only one in the whole class who could slice a one of those industrial restaurant-sized bag of onions without crying. It never affected her. Me,
Okay,
on the other hand,
I have to wonder about that because it's like
no, he's not affected. She can slice onions all day and have no issue. I, on the other hand, if I start slicing onions, I have to go to the water and flush
You're
my
cutting
eyes
out real bad there, Kat.
Okay, tell me when I sound normal.
Well, that's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I have no idea how to respond to that.
Okay, so when I cut onions, my eyes not swell up shut, but it's like they get really bad and puffy and ishy, and it's like, need to wash my eyes out, need to wash my eyes out. And then my mom's like, how are you my child? And then I respond going, God cursed me because you have the blessing of not cutting onions with it, having no issues cutting onions.
Deadman Stelzer dropped $2 and says, Elzer.
Sounds like a Budweiser commercial. Oh, it's how you pronounce it. Okay, sorry. I thought I read seltzer. Dead Man Seltzer sounds like an interesting drink.
Would your ginger beer cure redacted? Ginger beer is a whole other beast from ginger ale. Ginger ale is like, sweet and gingery. That's a very nice fizzy thing all the way down. Ooh, it's giving me a little burpy burps. Isn't that funny? Ginger beer is like, wonder what this smells like. Ah!
So why did you have a Wisconsin accent almost?
I don't know.
Oh no, I screwed up on making my tots. It's not Canadian. That is Wisconsin. I am so not used to the flip on my camera.
Ginger beer is you ever hear about that fire water? Well, it's not an alcoholic drink. It's ginger beer. It burns. It burns and just tears through everything. And you will be clean.
And you will poop for 2 hours, crying to whatever deity you worship. And make up 3 new ones.
Whew.
Oh, mighty porcelain goddess, please.
Please have mercy. Please, oh plunger, please don't make me have to call upon ye.
But speaking of redacted, that does leave a lot of people at home playing board games, doesn't it?
Oh god, how many Monopoly murders have there been now? Uno. Oh no, wait! They're gonna have Uno debates. Remember that Uno card set that was made so you wouldn't have a debate during Thanksgiving?
Oh god.
Which then my friend goes, "Why would Uno trigger political debate?"
So we have a Friday the 13th board game that is going to make game night a blast. Like,
does it come with a machete?
I'd say make it a killer game night. What the fuck? A blast? What Friday the 13th involves blasts?
The third one. No, not the third one. The Freddy vs. Jason. There was explosions.
Oh yeah, okay.
Creed Nation donated $9.99 to my ancestry has German, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Cherokee. Many members of my family have served their God and country, including one in the Union Army during the American Civil War. Hoorah! Sorry. Hoorah!
Yeah, I don't know too much about my family history other than the bloodlines because, well, I never learned that much about my father's side, and I know that my mother's side, a lot of their family history records were destroyed in World War II.
Ah, similar to me, except for the World War II part.
The record houses were just bombed to shit.
Oh.
So,
Look,
yeah.
do the TARDIS. Wait, if he meets his own grandpa, will that cause a problem?
Then it's like, Camp Blood shenanigans are about to hit game night real hard. Friday the 13th Horror at Camp Crystal Lake is on its way from USAopoly. The game breaks down like this. Summertime fun is dying at Camp Crystal Lake, where masked and murderous Jason Voorhees is on the hunt for Camp Counselor Blood, and your unlucky day is looming. Grasp for as much life-saving supply as possible. Supply of what? To escape the vengeful serial killer's slaughter and try to make it out alive through 5 nights. Of course, 5 nights. In this edge-of-your-seat game of chance, strategy, and survival. Reach into the bag and see what you'll find. Sounds like a blast. You already said that. Plus, it might do its part in filling the hole left behind by Friday the 13th the game. That is sadly not receiving any more updates or content on Xbox or PS4. Because evidently, just chasing guys down as Jason and murdering them gets old.
I mean, is the reason why the game's not being updated anymore still because of it being in copyright limbo?
Yeah, there's just rights arguments back and forth.
We have a donation from New Bafrazeg. My German heritage is so proud of me right now from that. Goes, Purge Movie, donated $2 and said, Purge Movie, but we follow the Purgers instead. I don't know. Because then it's not really a horror movie anymore. Oh, as horror as you can get with the Purge. It'd be more like an action movie, and then we would be like rooting for the bad guys. Sir, Are we the bad guys?
I'm confused. I'm looking at the back of this board here, and it's got a bunch of pieces, and it's actually like trying to break down some of the rules. And I'm like, huh? Because it's like supplies. Supply value. Frying pan is supply value 1. An axe is supply value 8. You get combination bonuses for all sorts of other things. And I'm just, huh?
You're not showing the screen you're reading from on the stream, so all they're seeing are our 3 little heads.
No, I'm showing the screen on the stream. You can't see it, but they can.
No. Oh! Oh, but I want to see it. Fine, I'll look on the stream and wait 30 and look in 30 seconds.
I closed it.
No. Yeah, it just. I will be honest. I can't see Friday the 13th as a board game. Video game, yes, completely. What they were doing beforehand was great. Something about a board game either A, ruins the horror out of it, or B, unless it's like one of those really, really expensive horror games where you have to actually set the mood with like music and crap, it's just like, I don't know.
I mean, strictly speaking, it sounds like something that could be a lot of campy fun, and depending on whether you're talking, depending on which Friday the 13th movie you're talking about, that actually does kind of fit.
Okay.
I mean, unless you got like a group of friends that are really into it and want to just like dress up as counselors and really role play into it.
So now I'm wondering, is this sounding odd to just me, or is it sounding odd to everyone? Like, I'm hearing just a little bit of choppiness here and there, but I know it's going through the wireless thing to my Surface, and that's how I'm hearing it. So I don't know if everyone else is hearing it fine, because it's just going straight through OBS and to stream to them.
Hold on, I got this. Audience, how does the stream sound? See? I'm good at this. I'm great at being a mod.
Okay.
Oh, that's so cute. Sorry, a friend just sent me a picture of a cute doggy.
Toby Kirkby is asking, have they missed any hilarious screw-ups yet? And I went on a tangent for like 3 hours about how I can eat onions.
True.
He did. And then we talked about every onion recipe known to man. And then Pinhead, pin cushions.
Zinthus Moonshadow says everything seems fine here. Okay, it's just gonna torture me then.
Hey, it's like the video, like when watching Pet Cemetery. Maybe you need a new Surface. Or is this the new Surface? Decker? Creepy, I think Decker went deaf.
So, anywho, Pudak says loud and clear. Sometimes too loud. That's me.
Sorry.
That's me.
No, it's me. I'm a natural loudmouth. There's a reason why in theater I used to be known as the mic breaker. It got so bad. Basically, I broke 2 mics in my theater because of how loud I was.
So, yeah. Oof.
So weird looking at me from 30 seconds ago.
But yeah, it's not just movies that are movies being turned into games. There's also games being turned into movies that have already been turned into movies before, and it did not go well. But for some reason, let's just try again. Even though we already tried it again, but we're gonna try it again, even though we also already did that. And actually, every single time they've done this, it hasn't worked. But you
Battleship or Clue? Because Clue was really good. Although Clue does have those other movies on Cartoon Network. Does anyone remember those? The other Clue movies? No, just me.
Trying to find it. There it is.
It was horrible. All the characters were teens, and apparently was going to do like a whole series arc with a whole conspiracy, but they only made the first movie.
But if there was a movie series, a movie based on a game that didn't work out, that got a sequel based on the game that didn't work out, and then got another sequel based on the game that also did not work out, and you would never expect they'd ever try that shit again, but they're gonna, what would you say it is?
Dungeons and Dragons, with the way you're describing it.
Okay, Dungeons and Dragons film moves forward with deal with former Marvel exec Jeremy Lackchum.
It was like I was thinking in my head, what games were made into multiple movies, and the only thing I can remember is is Decker's review of all 3 D&D movies.
Oh god, those.
I have D&D friends who are like, wait, there's a movie, and then one goes, wait, there's multiple movies? I go, yeah.
That was my reaction several years ago.
Entertainment One has signed a first-look agreement with producer and former Marvel Studios executive Jeremy Lackton with Dungeons and Dragons as the first project under the deal. Entertainment One made the announcement Wednesday, noting the partnership with Lackton follows E1's acquisition by Hasbro earlier this year and will further power E1's ability to produce wide-appeal film and television content designed for global audiences from Hasbro's library. Dungeons and Dragons is managed by Wizards of the Coast, a Hasbro subsidiary. Jonathan Goldstein and John Francis Daly are attached to write and direct the film, which is co-produced by E1, Hasbro's global entertainment studio, and Paramount. This film marks the first project for E1 with Paramount since E1's acquisition by Hasbro. Nick Meyer, E1's president for the film, said in a statement, Jeremy is a massively talented producer with a track record of creating true-to-brand films with size and scope that resonate with audiences and excel on global scale. In our exciting new era with Hasbro, we're thrilled to begin this new partnership and look forward to sharing the amazing projects that are to come. So, yeah, So...
I think I figured out your new Live and Wired poll if you still need one.
So yeah, there's a new Dungeons and Dragons movie coming. This is going to be the 4th time. And remember what happened when they made the 4th version of Dungeons and Dragons?
Are you talking about 4E?
4E, yes.
Oh god, I know a guy who was all like, no wait, sorry, he was all praising about 3.5, saying 3.5 and 4E are the best ones. I'm like, no, they're not.
Oh. The Gamers movies are good D&D movies, yes. Yes, Darkness Rising. And the original of The Gamers. It's, it's really indie. It's clearly just something they threw together for fun. It's got plenty of things you can look at and say, that really wasn't done well. But it's a lot of fun to watch, and it's very much a story of, hey, you know what, playing D&D, a lot of this weird shit just kind of happens. The natural 20 and the arrow that just it'll just make its way around all the trees. It'll get lost, but it's fine. It'll just find its target and just keep chasing him down until it gets to him.
The nat 20 arrow shot that basically unlocks the iron padlock. The nat 20 that I got when I basically seduced a door that I later find out was a mimic.
Also, Creed Nation dropped $9.99 saying, is Decker having nightmares about his pets dying and coming back to torture him because they were buried in a demonic cemetery and calling you in the middle of the night because of it, creepy?
He might be.
We're not allowed to go in Decker's brain anymore.
No. Not since that one time where we got lost.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 saying, Decker, the John Wick movies are great video game movies.
And the John Wick game
thought the
is
John
a
Wick
great VR game.
I thought the John Wick games were movie games. I'm confused.
Yeah, and they were...
What happened first?
Well, John Wick was a movie, and everyone joked saying it's a game because it has such actiony stuff like a video game. And then...
Kind of like Crank?
What?
Kind of like Crank?
Yeah.
Crank isn't a game, it's not based on a game, but it really could be a game.
Or Hardcore Henry, yeah.
Hmm.
And then they decided to make John Wick into a video game. And they did it in VR to test out, like, I guess to show off gun mechanics and everything, in case you didn't want hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
Right.
And apparently the game is really awesome in VR and really fun, at least according to NerdCube.
Okay, now I gotta find out, like, is it on PlayStation VR? Because that's, like, the only VR I got. Except for the Labo VR, but I know it ain't on that.
Yeah, it ain't on the Labo VR. I don't know if it's on PlayStation VR. I know it was on PC, but I haven't checked. Also, Decker, I'm surprised you don't play hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades.
I don't have PC VR. They don't have hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades on PSVR.
Why haven't they put it on PSVR?
Well, at least they didn't last I checked.
Well, it just seems like a game you would love. They get into
Yeah,
the
I
nitty-gritty.
know. I watched several videos about it. I'm like, this is awesome and cool. You got all these different things, and you can like mess with this and that, and do this and this, and like blah 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 blah. It's like cool. And you got hot dogs.
I just remember someone playing it, and they're trying to shoot the gun, and they're failing, and I'm sitting here watching going, safety's on, safety's on, safety's on, turn off the safety. But it's like, it's one of those games that you don't consider that there might be a safety on your gun.
Mm.
Yeah, because you don't worry about safeties in Borderlands.
Nah. In most video games, guns, they just, the way guns operate in video games kind of annoy me. There's just certain things that usually you don't think about, but these games tout themselves as being so realistic and immersive, realistic. It's like, this is like a hardcore simulation here. I'm like, oh yeah, hardcore simulation. Guy ran over here. He fired twice, and it's like, you know what? I gotta reload because I just used 2 bullets and I want to be topped off. So you hit reload button. The guy on the animation presses the mag release, the magazine drops out of the gun, and then a guy comes across the corner and he's like, well, fuck it, I gotta shoot him now, and he just pulls the trigger, and suddenly the magazine's back in place and he's firing away. And it's like,
It's like
he's still got 1 round in there, but not...
do you also get annoyed that, like, shotguns? Because I love a good shotgun in a video game. If it doesn't have a satisfying
a good shotgun is very rare in a video game.
What?
A good shotgun is a rare thing in a video game.
But
Shotguns can still be fun in video games, but man, is it rare for them to be even remotely accurate.
Because they're all...
I remember Decker being so pissed about the crossbow shotgun in Stay Alive.
Oh, God.
Yeah, the weapon that was part crossbow and shotgun.
Oh, that thing looks so stupid.
And Stay Alive.
To be fair, it's based on video game concepts, so I guess that does make sense that they'd have that ridiculous of a weapon.
Hey, Decker. It will help you stay alive.
You know that movie was made by Disney, right?
That is weird.
Yeah, it's one of the sub companies of Disney.
Right, like Touchstone. Yeah.
And it's their only horror movie.
Well, it was done by someone who seemed like they weren't quite sure what a horror movie was like.
Yeah.
Also, New Duck Prime dropped 2 pounds saying, hey, what do you think of RoboCop in Mortal Kombat 11? I think we have a little article from Engadget about it.
Segue! I need a segue.
May 26th. So that's going to be 17 days from now. RoboCop will be in Mortal Kombat 11. NetherRealm still isn't done bringing pop culture icons to Mortal Kombat 11. Its Aftermath DLC arrives on May 26th with not only a new story, more on that in a moment, and greater roles for fighters like Fujin, Nightwolf, Shang Tsung, and Shiva, but the addition of RoboCop. Yes, you can wield everyone's favorite police officer turned cyborg and dish out a very rough form of justice. The team even worked with Peter Weller to create his character. Aftermath is notable in the first add-on for the game that continues the core storyline. As it turns out, Liu Kang and Raiden may have been too hasty restarting time. Shang Tsung intervenes to warn that they'll need to go back in time for Kronika's crown, which Kang destroyed, if they want to avoid wiping out reality!
Decker.
Yes?
Creepy walked away and is coming back. Emergency bathroom break.
Okay.
I should not have read that one out loud.
The new narrative also brings new stages, and yes, there are functional updates, as opposed to stages and characters. Stage fatalities have returned for certain arenas. Friendships are back as well. If you'd rather give someone a hug than disembowel them, you probably can. In that sense, the DLC is as much about filling some of the remaining gaps in the Mortal Kombat experience as it is furthering the plot. Otherwise known as half the game was missing, but, you know.
Classic Gamer Bob, not Classic Gamer Bobby, Motorcycle US. Yes, there is other cops that turned into a cyborg. Was it 8-Man?
What do I think? The quad shotgun from Phantasm?
I love it.
I love it, but I also kind of want to make my own quad shotgun, but the problem is that little project is about $6,000 to pull off. And
there is a quad shotgun in a video game known as Killing Floor 2.
Well, I mean, technically I could make a quad shotgun for $2,000, and it would be actually closer to the quad shotgun from Phantasm. but I want to
It's not
make
functioning.
a bigger, heavier quad shotgun that can have pump action to it.
Again, there is a quad shotgun like that in this video game known as Killing Floor 2, available on Steam. I may or may not be playing it, been using it a lot.
I just want to get 2 DP-12 shotguns and tie them together. I got the idea from watching Demolition Ranch because he got 3 DP-12 shotguns and tied them together, and it was a little too heavy and clunky to actually fucking function. So I'm like, you know what? If you cut that down by a third, maybe you got something here.
Welcome to Decker's new channel, where Decker tries to make a gun. Welcome to Decker's craft hour. We'll be doing cute arts and crafts with cray paper. I lie! Chainsaws.
Oh yeah, Call Him Damien on Twitch points out, Disney also made Song of the South.
Okay, I am not pro Song of the South, but let's all remember the time it was made. Those of us who forget our past are doomed to repeat it. I'm just saying.
Turok also has great shotgun physics, says Eddie Herta. I haven't really played the Turok games. Like, I played quite a bit of Turok 2, if I remember right, but I don't know if I ever got the shotgun. I don't know, it was clunky and difficult to play, and I really didn't play much on my N64.
Yeah.
I was more of a Sega Saturn guy, except for the fact that nothing came out on it, so I just spent most of my time playing on my PlayStation 1.
The only console I had until I got a gaming PC, and then the Switch was the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. So behold my sad little gaming childhood. But I had friends with consoles, so I just played with them.
Oh boy, I wish I knew why the hell I'm annoyed at my Surface right now, as always.
You should talk gentle, nice words to it. That's what I do to my she-beast when she starts messing up. Good she-beast. Nice she-beast. Mama loves you. What you guys don't know off camera is the tower to the PC that I am using right now. Ooh, I need to dust you.
Yeah, but in terms of there's been a lot of game news recently because Inside Xbox just went through and they were saying, hey, it's going to be your first look at Xbox Series X gameplay. And
is there actual gameplay?
Debatable.
Okay.
Like it was all trailers, and some of those trailers could technically be considered footage of gameplay, some of them. And that footage could technically be considered to be Xbox Series X gameplay, even though every single one had a little disclaimer on it saying, maybe not.
Yeah, that's always the issue. Although I'm wondering if there's going to be a lot of gaming news coming out now, or will there be less because, E3 got canceled due to Redacted.
Yeah, the idea is that, like, Jeff Keighley came out saying that there's going to be this whole summer of... I think he stole the idea from me, honestly. I expect royalties, but a summer of gaming, like, news and stuff, it'll be a slow drip across the entire summer. You'll have to wait a week for every news drop. How you like that?
My question is, why didn't they just do what they were going to normally do, except just do it from their studio, or... because they're working on... because, like, 90% of all the people who get their E3 coverage are watching it from the live things, because E3 is expensive and none of us have money.
Yeah.
And I talked about this with Creepy, so Creepy doesn't need to be here. I didn't go to college. I went to technical school for digital design where I learned how to do like Photoshop and all this jazz, and I also learned 3D modeling and 3D rendering and all that jazz. That was 10 years ago, etc.
Oh god, Lone Dragon dropped at $1.27 and it didn't show anything, and down there he says, did it take my money and not post my comment? Yeah, evidently.
Anyway, so
thank you for the donation. I'll try and pay attention to the non-highlighted, not super chat that you will say what you were going to say, maybe. Also, New Dark Prime dropped £2 saying, hopefully Robo will be better than Terminator is.
Yeah. Where was I? A Texel. So in that we also learned video game making and stuff, right? So we watched the whole documentary about the making of Age of Empires 3? 3. Yes, 3. and like the behind the scenes stuff. And there's a whole section in that documentary talking about E3, where basically half the people working on the game stop technically working on the game so they can work on the presentation for E3, because they know if E3 is a bust, they won't sell. So it's like, I don't know how to feel about that. I've always questioned it, because it's like, so half your company isn't working on the game but working on a presentation, which I totally get, but it's like so much pressure on them to succeed on E3. You know?
Yeah,
So
and
I'm like,
that was where a whole lot of time was spent for Duke Nukem Forever, was making
25
E3
years.
presentations.
Yeah, 25 years, and all the money that was supposed to be for Duke Nukem went to other projects. Kat's not bitter. She's not bitter. She is not bitter. It's just
So-
coffee.
Travis Barr dropped $5 Canadian. Hey Decker, will you be playing Space Engineers again? Also, I heard the Hellraiser show will be an anthology series, which I like. Actually, I do not plan to play Space Engineers again, mainly because the company, Keem, pretty much just dropped the ball on their Medieval Engineers support, because they shifted everything to Space Engineers, and then Medieval Engineers that had been sitting on no updates for about a year and has so much potential. If they would just add a few things, it could be amazing, because it's not really been their focus, and they're working on getting Space Engineers on consoles instead, which Space Engineers also doesn't have nearly as much meat to it as some other, like in the survival game aspect to it. Great engineering stuff going on in Space Engineers.
Yeah.
Really fun for that. Same with Medieval Engineers. But the survival aspect is really lacking. You notice that more in Medieval Engineers because there's so many survival games in that style that you notice a lot more, hey, there's fucking nothing around me. Whereas in space, that makes a little more sense.
I also wonder myself if... Oh, hi, Creepy.
But yeah, they took Medieval Engineers, which was in early access and had no updates for like a year. They just said, well, now it's released, and that's it. And I was like, well, that's kind of a dick move there. I do intend on playing a little more survival space crafting games, but I'm probably going to jump back to Empyrean Galactic Survival, which is something else that I had played before, and I do have a lot of fun with it. It doesn't have nearly as good of an engineering side to it as Space Engineers, but it's got a hell of a lot of life on the planets.
How do you feel about playing the game FTL, Faster Than Light?
I have played Faster Than Light before. Usually I just get frustrated at it because I suck. I die constantly and make no progress, and then I'm sitting there like, I can't get past Sector 4!
The darkness is coming and swallowed my butt!
So okay, I guess I gotta stay around here and grind some things up, get some stuff. Oh, all these random events are fucking me up. I ran out of gas! You can't run out of gas in space!
Remind me never to give Lone Decker my copy of Fallout 1.
I have Fallout 1.
Oh.
I prefer Fallout 2. No time period. No time limit on Fallout 2. Okay, I guess I'll play that. There we go.
I don't know why, but in my D&D campaign, we have like 10 days till the world explodes. Well, not the world, but like bad crap is gonna happen and destroy a whole continent. And we keep doing side things, and it's making me panic. And the DM's like, dude, you're way ahead of schedule. You're fine. I'm going, Fallout 1 flashbacks, Fallout 1 flashbacks. Panic. Any more days is not that
Demon
long.
Orcs asking, should I try Space Engineers? Is it not a good idea to buy Space Engineers? It's up to you. I mean, personally, Keem already got my money, so they're probably not too heartbroken over me being like, well, I guess I won't play it. But I feel like they're at the position now where they're going to have to do something as a company that's a little more pro-consumer before I feel much like giving them my support again.
Maybe they'll take a break off Space Engineers and then work on Medieval Engineers.
If they just added water and naval shit to Medieval Engineers and life to the planets, maybe, that would make it so good. It would be so fucking amazing with just that.
Life,
water, and ships. The
What about
ability to
plague?
engineer ships.
Plague?
Plague, yes. You can't have the medieval period without the redacted.
Well, it's a different redacted than the redacted we're currently redacting through.
I know he said ships, but it sounded to me like he said chips. Like, even in space, Decker wants potato chips.
Medieval times, but yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, Demon Orc says EA pissed on the whole thing of being given free upgrades to the Xbox One X version, Xbox One Series X. Like, the
Xbox.
Xbox. What the hell are they calling the smart delivery? That's what they're calling the. You buy the game for your Xbox One, you then buy an Xbox Series X, and the game is the Xbox Series X version now.
Nani?
Well, that's the idea. They call that smart delivery. I feel like it's just okay. It's just you have the enhanced patch. Good. You they have that for the Xbox 360 games on the Xbox One X. Certain games are X enhanced that are Xbox 360 games, so it's kind of the same thing. But they're thinking of it like, well, it's the next gen version of this game. Like, yeah, not really, but okay. But EA came out and they were like, yeah, we support this for up to a year. If you don't turn it in within that year, you're gonna have to buy it again. Sorry.
Does anyone minus me think that the head guy of EA kind of looks like a villain?
Kinda.
Okay, he does. He is.
I think you'd look up villain in a dictionary.
Motorcycle US just said a very interesting comment. The bad news, Decker, the bad guy's new evil plot in Borderlands, adding safeties to all the guns.
Oh God.
Do you want me to do one of my 2 news articles?
Oh yeah, that sounds good. That sounds like idea. There's still a little bit to talk about with the stuff on the title card, but we have plenty of time.
We have time.
Question, do you want me to talk about Florida news or anime news?
Let's go with Florida news first. We could all use a good laugh.
Thank you. Y'all are gonna enjoy this. Y'all.
I heard you the first time.
No, I'm going over my whole, I just called everyone y'all. I'll just do a little screen share thingy. Turn on screen share. Application window. This one. Decker had a small fit.
Life goals.
Man camped on Disney World Island at Shuttered Park, police say. Richard M. J. McGuire told the police that Discovery Island, an 11-acre zoological park with aromatic trees and walk-through aviaries that closed in 1999, I've been there, looked like a tropical paradise. Creepy already knows my feelings about this, and I will explain them. It had the makings of an adventure straight from Disney's Swiss Family Robinson, being on an uninhabited island and living off the land. But for one Alabama man, the adventure on a former island attraction at Walt Disney World in Florida was short-lived and ended in arrest. This man, Richard J. McGuire, 42, of Mobile, Alabama, was accused of trespassing at the theme park after he tried to camp on Discovery Island, a former zoological park that was closed in 1999, the authorities said. On Thursday, an Orange County Sheriff's deputy responded to a report of a trespasser on the island, which is east of Disney's contemporary resort in Bay Lake. A security representative for Disney told deputies that she had seen a man using a boat earlier that day, and that the area was closed to the public, with signs warning against trespassing. Okay, I'm just going to set you a timeline. This was during the time when Redacted made all the parks closed. So, just saying, for people to have a mind idea. As deputies arrived, Disney staff members were helping a small boat with Mr. McGuire aboard to shore, according to an arrest report. Mr. McGuire told the authorities that he had reached the island on Monday or Tuesday and was going to camp and to go camping, and he planned to stay for approximately 1 week. It's been 1 week since you looked at. Sorry. Told that the area he was. What? The report said, told that the area was restricted, Mr. McGuire said he was unaware of that and described the island looking like a tropical paradise. Mr.
What?
McGuire
That
on
doesn't
Sunday
make it any less restricted.
Well, here's the messed up thing. There are creepypastas based off of Discovery Island, all of them wrong, but still, it's weird. A tropical paradise? It's abandoned. Please, watch Bright Sun Films video about it. It's a good video. Mr. McGuire on Sunday denied that he was camping on the island and said that he was there as an urban explorer recording video footage for his YouTube channel.
That somehow makes it less illegal.
Yeah, that doesn't make it less illegal. Since mid-March, all Disney theme parks worldwide have been closed due to redacted, including Disney World in Florida and Disneyland in California, because of redacted. Discovery Island, which was originally called Treasure Island, was an 11-acre zoological park that featured aromatic foliage, trees, and flowers, and a walk-through aviaries with more than 500 species of birds, all of them natural natives to Florida. Fun fact, I went there when I was a kid a lot, so I know a lot about this. Online maps show that the park, which opened in 1974, had a flamingo lagoon, a turtle beach, an alligator swamp. It closed 25 years later, and photos and a 2017 video, which is the one from Bright Sun Films, by the way, showed the remnants of the abandoned attraction, deteriorating buildings and overgrown trees, a former animal hospital, and an abandoned dock. Jake Williams of Bright Sun Films, didn't know he was being mentioned in this article, I swear, who made short documentaries about abandoned places, resorts, ships, and bankrupt companies, narrated a 2017 video using footage from 2 other filmmakers. The curiosity aspect, I think, for many people has been enthralled by the idea of an abandoned attraction within Disney, the prestige and premier theme park location, Mr. Williams said. I myself have been interested in it since 2010, citing the mystery of why Disney left it there. Law enforcement authorities told Mr. McGuire that they had been searching for him on foot, on boat, and by air. What about underground? Deputies used the public access system to warn him to leave the island, the report said. McGuire told deputies he had not seen or heard them because he was sleeping in one of the buildings on the island. I'm going to point out all the problems with that right now.
No. That doesn't make it any less illegal.
Illegal! He was charged with a misdemeanor count of trespassing and was banned from all Disney properties. This serves as a reminder that trespassing is not permitted at Walt Disney World Resort, a Disney representative said on Sunday. We appreciate your security team in the Orange County, blah, blah, blah. We appreciate.
Yada, yada, yada.
We get it. Hold on. I'm coming back. Hello. Okay, so here's the thing. I, who live in Florida, am required to know a lot of knowledge about Disney. No, I'm not. I just love the thing. Discovery Island is a natural man-made island in the middle of a lake.
Natural man-made? What?
It's a very natural-looking island that was man-made.
It's chocolatey.
What?
It's chocolatey.
No, it's a man-made island in the middle of a natural lake. Okay? The only way to get onto that thing is boat. And no one goes on there except for Disney people.
Why can't you swim?
Because it's alligator-infested waters.
Why do they have alligator-infested waters in a park in Disney?
Because alligators, no matter what water source is around, an alligator will sooner or later get into it in Florida.
Oh,
There's
Florida,
a reason
yeah.
why. But there's a joke amongst people going, if a golf course doesn't have an alligator in it, it's not a good golf course. Anyway, so there's no way to really get in there. And also, there is a giant wall. Well, not a giant wall, but there is a wall which you go in, and there's a security checkpoint. There's many security checkpoints at Disney, so there's no way to really sneak in. If he was doing it during park opening hours, he could have had an easier time to get in, but even then, he can't get in. How the heck he went all solid testing all the major security measures, even though it's technically a skeleton crew, and got in and got on the island? It's beyond me, and it annoys me.
Quadcopter?
They would have noticed it going over because there is a rule that says no flying things can be,
You can't fly directly over Walt Disney World.
There is a law about it.
Yeah.
Unless you go over a certain limit for, airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's only for,
That's like commercial jets that are like in the cloud bank. So, yeah. So, yeah, honestly...
Dr. Zippy McScoots says that people have been eaten at the island due to alligators.
Yeah.
Because they're gone. And like it's abandoned and it's dangerous because it's really rotten water-soaked wood that could break easily and rusty nails and tetanus.
There's also what I'm thinking though is that I wonder if maybe just well, it is a skeleton crew, but maybe just some people weren't doing their job as effectively. Like they were like, "Hey, it's redacted, so we can kind of take it easy and chill, even though we're getting paid." And then someone just took what happened to be there, took advantage of it, and slipped over.
The only issue is also there's security cameras everywhere at Disney. Everywhere.
He was ninja.
A white man, 45-year-old.
Yes.
Decker used to watch Asylum films, remember?
Valid point. But it's just like, I got so obsessed over it. I basically turned into Decker when reading the article earlier last week.
I was there for it.
Pointing out, like, it's not possible.
I got this long. There was just a long text scroll of statements made.
Of cat complaining about how impossible this is.
Yeah. This was clearly done. This was clearly someone who knew what they were doing. They were just making up excuses for why they were there when they were done.
Yeah, there are people who
that's the part that just annoys me is their excuses. Where it's like, I'm an Urban Explorer filming for my YouTube channel. It's like,
you've done double banded.
Oh, well, I didn't hear them because I was asleep in a building.
It's weird. Like, I didn't notice trespassing signs.
That's not going to stop me because I can't read.
I'm from Alabama. No offense to anyone from
No,
but it's
yeah. Right.
It just makes how.
Oh, hey, because of this
supposed
article,
to be
though,
watching
Decker,
for a comment. I see the damn alligator bit my hand off. I was trying to look to see where another comment. I see a tag in my name. I don't see.
Oh, hey, Decker.
I see it. I scrolled up to the point where it's saying, "Did you take my money and not post the comment?" It did it not. How many times have you attempted to post the comment? Because unless it was damn alligator bit my hand off, which is a bit anachronistic, because then the super chat would have come before we started talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Although, another fun fact, there has technically been no recorded death at Disney. There have people who died at Disney, but it was never recorded as death on Disney property.
Right.
They died in transit to hospital.
Right.
And also, Disney, I don't know about Disney World, but Disneyland has a bunch of cats. They let cats out during the night to take care of rats.
That's a little ironic.
Well, yeah, it is. But they it first started with the first Disneyland, and apparently a bunch of cats decided to live inside the castle because they didn't have any plans to do with anything with the castle except storage in the upper stairs. But they decided to do something about it, and they found a bunch of cats there, massive amount of fleas. We don't want to talk about that now. And they decided instead of throwing them out, they decided we're going to take them to the vet, give them their shots and all their sniffing, and we adopted them all, and they're the official mouse catchers.
Mm-hmm.
So they get to.
Ironic.
I don't see anything right after that, Lone Dragon. Say, how much of a super chat to get you guys to watch the trailer to Star Chaser: The Legend of Orin during the stream? Well, that sounds like a copyright problem. That's why when we have the trailers, I try and chop them up into quicker, shorter things, mainly because otherwise YouTube's gonna be like, hey, I recognize this content, there's an ID on this content, shutting down the stream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's also, hey Decker, though, I do have an idea for the Twitter poll tonight. What amusement park would you break in and live in if it was abandoned? Like if insert name of amusement park here. If this one was abandoned, I would live in it. Like Six Flags, Disney World.
There's Dreamland in Tokyo, which was abandoned. It was the Disney knockoff, but was a real.
Sesame Place.
What?
Say what?
Sesame Place.
Sesame Place.
Sesame Place. I will just sit in the inner tube and go around the river the whole damn time.
Her ass is gonna be so wrinkled, it's not even gonna be funny.
It's already wrinkled.
I have not visually confirmed this for anyone who's wondering. I have not yet.
Also, Carmagen dropped 1000 Huff and asked, Creepy, what do you think about Mothra's role in King of the Monsters movie from 2019?
I have not seen it yet.
And
I've been waiting to review it with Decker.
At everyone, did you like the music?
What the world is Huff?
we always forget what the Huff is.
It's Hungarian money.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. But no, I have not watched it yet. I am waiting to review it with Decker.
I still
have not watched it yet.
Over here somewhere. Do I have it? Right there? No, where did I put it? It's probably on the shelf.
I'm waiting for one day that Decker leans off of that chair and then he falls flat on his face.
His nose will be much shorter.
What?
His nose will be much shorter.
He has a very great Roman leader nose. Thank you very much.
I was an anteater in a past life.
I'm gonna say Gonzo, but okay.
Anteaters, those are their mouths, not their noses.
You were a toucan in a past life.
Anyhow. There's that one little bit from the Xbox game that, what the hell did they call it? The thing everyone hated.
How much cold
That
hard
doesn't narrow it down at all.
Motorcycle US just dropped $2 on our heads. How much cold hard cash for each of you to wrestle an alligator? Well, I could take us to a place called Gatorland and we could all watch guys wrestle alligators there. Discount for Florida people.
That's actually sounds entertaining. Do the alligators
Gatorland?
throw the people through tables is what I want to know. Otherwise, it's not real wrestling.
It's Greco-Roman.
God damn it.
Sorry, there's no alligator the Undertaker coming down. I would watch that. I would so watch that. I'm not even finishing my sentence. I'd watch that. Little alligator Undertaker coming. Dong.
You got the little hat.
Is it complete with the trench coat and the hat?
Yeah. Yeah. How would you know if it's the Undertaker if it doesn't come with a trench coat and the hat? Unless we're doing the Dead Man Walking version where the American Badass where he's on a little motorcycle. I want this now. I want Alligator John Cena.
But yeah, what the hell is it? The game thing. I can't remember even what it was called.
Motorcycle US is saying no, you have to wrestle them yourselves. Even though I am Floridian, it's gonna take a whole lot of money.
But
I do not
there
have
was another little bit of news from the title card. In case you're wondering exactly what the hell that background is.
It looks like
that
something
would
from
be,
H.G. Geiger, which means something alien related, correct?
That would be Scorn, a grotesque alien horror game, is coming to Xbox Series X.
Can they please come up with better names?
I've always wanted to go to an alien world, but I didn't expect it to be this terrifying. What the fuck were you expecting? Fucking happy dancing aliens with fucking flowers and little floaty drinks? Like, yeah, we're gonna play alien now. No.
Sexy blue.
Okay, yeah, I would expect that.
Yeah.
Scorn is an atmospheric first-person horror shooter set on a grotesque alien landscape. Developer Ebb Software designed Scorn around the concept of being thrown into the world. For the first time, the final game will feature multiple, interconnected zones, and players will be able to explore the game in a non-linear fashion, since each area contains its own unique characters and puzzles. As you can see, Scorn has a real H.R. Giger vibe, so it could be right up your alley if you're into the Alien franchise. Hint, hint, Decker Shadow. During a recent Inside Xbox event. No. Microsoft announced that this special breed of horrors is coming to its new line of consoles, but Scorn is also headed to PC. Hopefully, we'll know more about this nightmare, including a release date in the coming months. And we got all these lovely, lovely pictures. Oh, such beautiful high detail there. Ah, that's some very nice architecture there. Looks kind of like penises.
I did not know that.
That's just a lot of blood and guts and everything. That's a wall-gina there. That is a wall-gina. That's
not a wall-gina.
That's one of the weapons, I think. Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. This is actually more gameplay than we saw in the Inside Xbox event. There was just a purely cinematic trailer there, like pre-rendered entirely. This looks like it actually might be in-game. There's a hallway.
H.R. Giger did a video game in the 90s called Dark Seed. I think I know of that.
Hey, look, this has HUD elements to it. That's how you know it's authentic.
Yeah, because you still can't Photoshop that.
And
my sarcasm has gone up high right now.
Very nice in my opinion. It got one of those weird little triangle things that you hold in your left hand. That's how you know it's getting freaky.
We have 2 donations.
Ooh.
$1.42 by Lone Dragon. Again, no message. I don't know why it's not letting you put up the messages, Lone Dragon.
That is a very nice penis-shaped hallway.
Can you stop
very
talking about
girthy, very girthy. And finally, whatever the fuck this is. I don't know, but I want to play it.
Decker, I think that's a magazine for weapons. Maybe. I don't know. I'm 30 seconds in the past. Xanaco77 donated $2 going Killjoy the Demon Clown review.
Did Lone Dragon anger the YouTube asks Demon Orc on Twitch? Possibly. Lone Dragon, you could possibly hop over to Twitch and leave a comment there. Maybe I can catch it.
Lone Dragon says, how about if you just promise to watch the trailer after the stream?
Also, on Periscope, Landon Sermana says, let the body count begin.
Decker's gonna have a field day with it. So is it set on Alien, or is it just that it happens to have similar aesthetics because H.G. Giger?
It's got similar aesthetics because it's based around that art style. Yeah. Giger passed away.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be weird. You will now play H.G. Giger, the life simulator.
Though possibly they just got a Ouija board out and asked him what he thought. And he's like, this good? And it's like, yes, no, add more piping.
Not enough phallicness. Not enough boobs. Wait, did you do boobs a lot?
Or hey, how about this version? Crap, mega crap.
But there was actually some gameplay of Scorn shown a few years ago. It didn't look quite that sharp. And it was a Kickstarter kind of thing. But I guess they got a little more funding from Microsoft. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's actually going to get finished. They might still cancel it at the last second, like, nah, it's not turning out as we'd thought, so fuck you. Go and make some Kinect sports games. That's what people like rare to do. Fuckers.
That or it's going to be a massive disappointment like the No Man's Sky, and then we're going to have to wait like 1-2 years for it to actually have content. Or see if thieves... Oh god, the Kalbasa's trying to kick my ass.
Have you seen The Jungle Book? Please answer, please, says Rick Martinez. The animated one? Yes.
The animated one, the live-action one that was that was on ABC, that was a TV movie.
And I think an older TV movie that's not from Disney. I think I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see the new live-action one?
No, I did not see the new live-action one. But I'm thinking like a really old one where Mogwai's going around with his fucking dagger like, it's my fang, bitch!
Oh, where it's actually dark.
Yeah.
I just now remembered due to the new live-action version.
Not Mogwai, Mowgli. I know words.
Mowgli. Mogwai is the gremlin.
Yeah.
No, I just remember there's a thing in the art world the fan art world and the commission world. There are certain artists that you hope to God you never get. One, even though they pay a good amount of money. One is the guy who asks you to draw a rich woman putting in a lot of bread, buying a lot of white bread, or destroying lumber. He says it's weird. Rumor has it it's a fetish. Rumor has it it's not. Rumor has it he's just doing something weird to see if it actually gets commissioned. And then there's another type of commissioner you want to kind of avoid, who will ask you to do pictures of Ka from Jungle Book and very creepy things and Listen, when you're an artist on commission, you get some weird ass commissions that I go, I don't care how good the money is.
So what you're telling me is never make a Fiverr account.
I mean, you can still make a Fiverr account. Just don't put down you do art.
Well, I'm thinking I was thinking to myself hey, I could do some voiceover stuff maybe. I don't know. I could read things for things. And then I'm thinking, well, actually that could actually be bad because people could get me to say some horrible fucking shit.
I think you have the right to deny.
Yeah, I know, but I like money.
Decker, you gotta have standards if you're gonna commission yourself out.
You think I have standards?
Valid point. You're on YouTube, and we have video of you running around in drag. Sorry, dancing around in drag.
Demon Orc says Mowgli is the Mogwai gremlin that was lost in the jungle and taken in by wolves before becoming a gremlin that butchers Shere Khan.
Zenico77 donated $2 going, Sharktopus versus Indominus Rex. Why are you requesting a bunch of those old sci-fi? That actually would be an interesting summer. The summer of crappy sci-fi channel movies. Which, fun fact, a good amount of them were made by the Asylum.
I'm just trying to brain.
The summer of Asylum.
I just the whole the game showcase thing. I can't even remember the damn name. It was that meh to me. There were some nice things shown. I like the look of Scorn. I think that Medium looks interesting, something to keep an eye on. It's about traveling between two versions of the world, and it's got the composer of the Silent Hill games on board. So
I'm already in. You said composer of the Silent Hill games, and his composing is beautiful.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know next to nothing about it other than psychological horror and Silent Hill composer, and I'm like, okay, let's check this one out.
Motorcycle US just dropped $2 going, y'all, Gremlins versus Critters versus Ghoulies. Like in a who will win, or what do we prefer?
Gremlins versus Critters, Ghoulies. I feel like, logically speaking, the Gremlins will just kill everything, if we want to be honest.
Yeah, we're going to be logical here. But if it's like a which one do we like most situation? Tribbles.
I was just trying to talk about the Xbox box game event. Why can't I remember what the hell they called it? Was I that drunk? But a lot of people didn't really like it because a lot of people say it's because they said that it would be the first showcase of Xbox Series X gameplay, and it was not. And it's like, well, technically it was. Technically speaking, it was the first time they showed something and they were like, this is gameplay from the Xbox Series X. Technically. It's not what everyone wanted, especially since they were like, and you're going to see Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which I'm like, well, I kind of already know what that looks like. It's a current-gen Assassin's Creed game. We've had several of them. I have an idea of what this is going to look like.
And it's gonna be buggy as heck on the first day release.
It's going to look like people don't have their faces.
It's going to have teeth and eyes. What the heck? Oh, that's normal. Is it?
But yeah, they had their little trailer they showed, which had a bunch of quick cuts from cutscenes. It was in-engine footage, but like nothing of what it actually looks like to play the game. And then like, there's your gameplay.
That's not gameplay. That's just showing me a cutscene.
And a lot of people were pissed off about that. But I just kind of didn't care. I was just watching it like, is there anything here that's going to interest me at all going forward? And I walked out of there like, scorn and medium. Scorn and medium, yeah.
Don't have high expectations. Never have high expectations when it comes to gaming stuff. Says the girl who just had high expectations for the game that has the Silent Hill composer, and I got it.
But yeah, but then a lot of people are. Some people are saying that they're just now figuring out that the ninth generation of consoles, the one that's coming up, isn't going to look all that much better than the 8th, and it's like, yeah.
Yeah, because they didn't spend a lot of time on it.
Well, it's launch titles, and also the fact that right now they're pushing heavily for, hey, check this out. This can go, like, they were showing off Dirt 5, and they're saying one of the big features is 120 frames a second.
Can our eyes even register that?
Yeah, you can, technically, to max out what the eye can see on average, you'd be pushing something closer to like 380 frames a second, but that's like individual molecules firing off like which one. It's in terms of perceptible, it's, you know, it's getting a little odd, but from 60 to 120, you can see a difference. Whether or not it's going to be that much more helpful in terms of your gaming, unless it's something, I could see it helping if you're playing with a mouse and keyboard to aim. But if you're playing with dual analog, I mean, half the time the game does most of the aiming for you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Also, I wish they could do something a little bit more like accessibility.
I'm looking forward to them saying something about what the accessibility options are, because, Charlie, it's very important for her.
Yeah. I also was thinking, like, I hate how people complain about when people play on easy mode. I'm like, some people just aren't as responsive or as good at games as the average person, and some people just want to enjoy looking at the world and scenery. Like, I want one of those, like, there was, like, this whole talk about, like, video games coming up with a mode which basically, there's no real combat, but here you are, go explore the world and see all the pretty and all the hard work we've put in. And I'm like, I like that. I would love that in more video games. Heck, I fell in love with the Assassin's Creed Odyssey thing where you learn crap. I'm like, I want all the other Assassin's Creed games to do that. I want to learn crap. I want to look at all the teeny tiny details. Let me look at Zeus's testicles. The statue is accurate. The statue is accurate.
Yeah.
But, you know, just something like that, so I could, like, be able to explore the world and not have to worry about combat.
I feel like an easy mode isn't a problem. You know, doesn't take anything away from there being higher difficulties.
I'm not.
But it's also like accessibility is a very important actual conversation to have. But also, it's one that a lot of times is like if you're talking about a game, your average game journalist, they'll talk about accessibility and the need for an easy mode, and they'll say, think of the poor disableds. But when it comes to a game that isn't, the problem is not that it doesn't have an easy mode, but it is really damn inaccessible for no good fucking reason.
Pretty much.
For some reason, they forget to mention think of the disableds. I'm looking at you, fucking Days Gone. You goddamn QuickTime events for no apparent reason that really don't... They're not that hard for people who can press buttons really fast, but for people who can't, they're a goddamn roadblock that doesn't have to be there. And why is it, in order to do the crafting, you have to hold the one button down to open up the big radial menu, push the one stick in the one direction, press the other button to select the thing, and push the other stick in the other direction, and then press the other button again to select what you want to craft, and then hold it there until it's done crafting, while the game is still playing in the background, so you don't have all the time in the world to do this shit. I understand you want it to be survival and, the game has to play while you're crafting, but why does a crafting command have to be so fucking cumbersome that you better have access to 2 fucking hands to do it with really good dexterity? And also, just brushing against the touchpad opens up the map. Or whatever the fuck it is. I can't remember exactly what it does, but it does some annoying shit that even people who are able-bodied are annoyed at how easy it is to accidentally do that.
Yeah. Also, like, QuickTime
No,
events were always a pain in the butt for me too.
it's just funny to me though, because the reviews for Days Gone were coming out around the same time as a whole bunch of articles about how Sekiro Shadows Die Twice really needs an easy mode, because think of the poor disabled people. And it's like, they're saying it needs easy mode because they want an easy mode for themselves. But at the same time, my position there is, it's like someone saying, hey, you should install an elevator to the second floor, think of the disabled people, when their actual intent is that they're just lazy and they don't want to climb stairs. But that doesn't mean it's not going to help disabled people to have an elevator.
Yeah, it's like those. Well, speaking of elevators, it's like those people who are like, we're going to shut down the elevators because we want all these people to work out and exercise. And I, who had a spinal injury at 13, have to use a cane when doing long walks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting here going, y'all's a bunch of assholes. They're like, you're able-bodied, you're fine. See this cane? I have no issues putting it against your skull right now.
Don't forget the adaptive gamepad. Oh yeah, the Xbox adaptive controller. Very nice, very nice. We have one. You can plug in all kinds of little switches to the other buttons, and with the right, it's kind of frustrating trying to use it on other things. It would be very nice if Sony and Nintendo would just say, hey, yeah, you can just plug it into our systems as well, and it can work. That would be so nice if they would do that, but it fucking won't.
I just saw a commercial because I watch a lot of things on demand.
Holy hell, I hope that was only on my end.
What?
It sounded like you were a robot with redacted.
No, I'm fine. So, I watch a lot of stuff on demand, and Xfinity advertises a lot on their thing because reasons. And they all started bragging, going, we have now more adaptability stuff for people with disabilities. I'm like, uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
What are they? And they're like, we now have the
Zynthia's Moonshadow. Zynthia's Moonshadow says that the Let's Go Pokemon games are another good example of games without the disabled in mind, since motion controls are required in some way to play the game at all. Yeah, Char got it, and she could not do the throwing. You need to have some kind of precision and dexterity of that. It's not very compatible with cerebral palsy. So, fortunately, if you play it in portable mode, in handheld, it actually allows you to just press a button to throw, and it has, but it has gyro aiming that you can't turn off.
Oh no.
So what she had to do, what we did to try and get it so she could play this game, is we set up an easel with the switch on it so that it would not move while in portable, and then the thing would start, and it would start aiming at the Pokemon, and she'd press the button as light as she could to try and make sure she didn't shake the switch around, and it would throw the ball, and hopefully it was timed right, and she could try and catch that Pokemon. And that worked for those that didn't fucking jump around like assholes.
I feel sad now.
So yeah, it's like Nintendo has been. It's kind of funny because Nintendo has like this reputation of being really good with accessibility. That they got that reputation from the NES era because there were like millions of different NES controllers. No matter what ability level you had, you could play NES. Thing is, most of that was third party. Nintendo themselves really didn't do anything, and just now. They finally added the ability to actually change the buttons around on the Switch controller and save your own custom button layouts and stuff. Just like a month ago, I think they added that. And it's been something I've been waiting on forever. It's like, Nintendo, you're literally the only company that doesn't have this option.
Yeah. I'm wondering also because, like, for some reason, people like to brag about this. Like, the Wii is great for people in like wheelchairs and old folks' homes because of the Let's Dance series. It's like you just have to move your Wii remote and do exercises, and I'm like, that's great for those who need accessibility. I'm like, no, it's not. If you got upper body, no problem. You're great. But yeah, it's just weird. People, proof that Decker is a good person / BF. Motorcycle US just dropped $2
Oh,
to say that.
I'm still an asshole.
You just have a soft spot for Charlie.
It's like I tell her, it's like I recognize that before I got together with her, I honestly didn't think about accessibility. It wasn't a thing that came up in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think that necessarily makes me a bad person. I just feel like I understand a lot of people don't think about it and need to be reminded.
Yeah, it's like it's not at the forefront of your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
As an idiot,
Landon Sermon says, just gave y'all 1,000 hearts. Thank you.
I like hearts.
And,
I also like stars and shoes, clovers and blue moons.
Also,
Lots of gold,
Snake360 on
not
Periscope about 7 minutes ago asked what happened to Chibi Thulu.
Oh.
He's in the laundry basket. No, he's
No,
not.
thank you.
Hello.
Also, I feel like I could maybe actually give this little... Can I? Yes. I'm going to screen share this one. Not this screen. What? Why is it only showing this? Why is it scrolling down? Okay.
Use technology,
Okay.
everyone.
Okay, well, I'm sharing a screen here.
Oh no. I'm not even looking fully at it. But I just went, oh no.
So creepy. You want to take this one?
Take this one? I want to take this one.
Okay. I'm going to zoom it in a bit.
Okay,
He
thank
can
you.
zoom. Control mouse wheel. Is a
I can't control nothing.
So, The Exorcist was on, and it got me thinking of you. Thought I would pass a little news along. A while back, we had confirmation that a new Scream film was in the works, and then the great news that Radio Silence, the team behind Ready or Not, would be directing. However, until now, we've gotten no official casting news on whether or not any original characters will be returning, including series final girl Neve Campbell as Sydney Prescott. In a recent interview with YouTube channel Jake's Takes, hosted by Jake Hamilton, Neve Campbell confirmed she's at least in talks for the project. They've come to me and we're having conversations. It's a little hard at the moment because of COVID to know when that will happen, and hopefully we can see eye to eye on all the elements that have come into place for it to happen. I originally had been really apprehensive about doing another Scream without Wes Craven because he was such a genius, and he's the reason they were what they were, but the directors have come to me with such a great appreciation for Wes's work, and they really want to honor it, and that meant a lot to me, and hopefully we'll be able to do it. Plus the fact that Wes Craven is, well, you know.
Yeah.
Not on this plane?
Mm-hmm. So it's not official, but it totally sounds like there's a good chance it's going to happen. It sounds more like we're not sure, but kudos, I guess, for being optimistic. Anyway, what's more important is that the clues this gives us to the storyline going forward. It's definitely sounding like a sequel rather than a remake or reboot. Then again, this is the super meta Scream franchise and anything can happen. I'm the suspect! Stay tuned to We Watched a Movie to find out more. Hat tip to Critical Overlow 3 Twitter for the heads up to the story.
This is like as much information as we got as the rumors that there's going to be a Demolition Man sequel coming soon.
Yeah.
But that was confirmed by Stallone. He was like, "Others is at the." I can't do Stallone.
All of us are gonna be. We're gonna do the Demolition 3.
We've been in talks about doing another Demolition movie.
Just wait a minute.
Yes. Oh great, you showed your legs, creepy. Now we're gonna lose monetization.
Now, like, wait a minute. This is We Watched the Movie. The guys, their YouTube channel. Yeah, they're competitors.
Oh my God, Decker.
We must do
Does this
battle.
mean I'm no longer allowed to name drop different YouTubers anymore?
We must do battle.
Can't we do battle with someone else? Can't we do battles and prank channels that actually hurt people?
It's a kitty.
Kitty! Everyone, stop talking. Kitty. Make the screen bigger for the kitty.
She was being difficult. That's what she was being. And now she wants to go. She's like, no.
Zintheus Moonshadow says, now, if you want a game that goes out of its way to be accessible, look at South Park: The Fractured Butthole. They made it so that anyone can play it with no trouble. Yeah, I think Cha got The Fractured Butthole and enjoyed it quite a bit.
I have that game. I also have the one that came before it, and I'm like, why haven't I played this? Wait, although the question is, how would they do Sorry, my brain. They're talking about Demolition Man in the chat, and I'm like, how would they do Demolition Man?
Oh yeah, there's that news about Demolition Man.
Yeah, I'm the one who told you about it.
Yeah.
Hi.
I don't pay attention to things.
You don't?
No.
It saddens me so.
But yeah, shaboom. Demolition Man 2. Sylvester Stallone says sequel is in the works. Demolition Man 2 is in the works, according to star Sylvester Stallone. The original sci-fi film Demolition Man hit movie theaters in 1993. It's a cult classic, and fans have been looking for a sequel for years. Now it seems it could be on the way. In the original film, Stallone played Sergeant John Spartan of the Los Angeles Police Department. He starred opposite Wesley Snipes as Simon Phoenix, a career criminal. Both characters are cryogenically frozen in 1996 and wake up in the year 2032. During their time frozen, both men undergo subliminal rehabilitation therapy. Phoenix escapes and Spartan is revived to help catch him. Stallone recently spent some time answering fan questions on Instagram, and he was asked about the potential future of Demolition Man. After all these years, could a sequel really happen? Surprisingly, Sylvester admitted that Demolition Man 2 was already in the works at Warner Brothers. I think there is. We're working on it right now with Warner Brothers, and it's looking fantastic, Stallone said. So that should come out. That's going to happen. There's obviously no telling how far along in development the new Demolition Man movie actually is, especially since the industry has essentially been put on hold for the foreseeable future. However, it sounds like there have been more than just some simple conversations about the sequel. Stallone mentioned that things are looking fantastic, which implies that some story/script work has probably been done. That's Stallone. The original Demolition Man was released in theaters in 93. Yes, we know that. Okay, there we go.
Like, but how would they end it? Like, as one person pointed out, it was to be balking on PC culture. Although that's low-hanging fruit nowadays. And, like, the ending, it was an ending. There's no...
I need to find out what the hell you do with the 3 seashells. That's it.
I want to know what happened to during the fast food wars. I want, like, a weird prequel that shows me... How did Taco Bell reign supreme?
So a Demolition Man prequel? Where he's still frozen, Phoenix is still frozen, but they have to have the characters so they make weird clones out of their frozen DNA?
No, like, I don't know. There's a term for it where you're looking at a movie from a different angle. It's like, okay, what happened during this point in time? Because I want to know about the great fast food wars. Why did Taco Bell become Nacho Supreme? Thank you.
God damn it.
Thank you.
Every time Demolition Man comes up, I'm reminded of when we were in Beijing, and we ended up at that Pizza Hut. Remember?
I'm just saying, am I this horrifyingly glitched out on the stream, or is it just my surface?
You're a little bit glitched out, but not bad.
You're a little blocky. Oh, there, your blockies went away. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm reminded of when we were in Beijing, Decker, and we went to that really swank Pizza Hut.
Yeah, that Pizza Hut was so classy.
I know, because in some versions of Demolition Man, it wasn't Taco Bell. They replaced Taco Bell with Pizza Hut because I think it's the international version.
Yeah, because Taco Bell is like only an American thing.
Right. Yeah, but Pizza Hut is an international thing. But
I heard that...
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is from a friend of mine I learned in Mexico, and if you watch my house flipping series, that's going to come up later down the weekend pipe. They tried to open a Taco Bell in Mexico. It didn't do well. No, the only people he knew that actually went to Taco Bell was to make fun of Taco Bell. And I also know that there was like a few years back, Taco Bell actually opened its first store in Japan. And the people who were working at Taco Bell had to explain to the customers, what the hell is this? What the hell is this? I'm guys. Although Japan's also the land of where KFC rules and is supreme there.
They include the ankles in their chicken legs.
Is that why it's so popular?
I don't know, but it was a little bit like, eh. But they also do not trust the white man to know how to throw things out properly.
Valid point.
Well, I understand why in America we just go and like take everything and just dump it in the trash and done. And it's a little more complicated in Japan. So, like, Creepy and I, we understood this. We saw the signs, we understood. I was like, okay, this goes in here, that goes in there, and that goes in there, and that's just how it works. Lone Dragon dropped 169, and YouTube, again, didn't feel like what he said had enough
And then a couple messages later, and went, damn it.
I feel very sorry for this man. I feel like I owe him money.
Don't give him the money!
He's not getting his money's worth, let's be honest here.
A valid point.
But,
Popeyes is better
yeah,
than KFC. Yes,
Creepy and I,
Jason Next 9000, I agree.
Cat?
Yes?
I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Oh, boy. That's a problem. Okay, just a second.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear her fine. I can hear all of you.
Okay. My Surface blue screened, and now it's just back to the screen went to the desktop after I just.
Okay.
It
couldn't handle streaming to it, so now I gotta figure out what the hell happened to.
Oh no, the screen went black on the screen.
Oh no.
It's fine now.
Where is my Streamlabs window? It's like it's not on the desktop. And I can't access it. So this is gonna be interesting when it comes time to figure out how the hell to end the stream.
We're gonna just last forever, and this is the stream that never ends. It goes on and on, my friends. Somebody started singing.
No.
So.
This is getting awkward.
Yeah. The story I was saying was that Creepy and I had finished our beautiful Japanese KFC, and we were going to the several trash receptacles to properly dispose of everything. The intent was to put everything in its place. And as we were going over there, the wait staff just kind of cut us off at the pass, like, oh no, wait, we got it.
Were they not trusting you guys?
Hell no, they weren't trusting us.
It's either they didn't trust white people, or they considered it offensive that you were about to do their job for you.
That's a possibility too.
Because I remember in Japan, you're not allowed to tip at restaurants in Japan because they're like...
No, you're not. No.
They think it means you're doing a bad job, you need money for help, right?
Right, no. Yeah, you're not supposed to tip in Japan.
You're also not supposed to point at people with your chopsticks or put them straight up in a thing of rice.
Oh yeah, putting them straight up is like a symbol of an omen of death or something. Like...
It looks very similar to the incense that are burned at funerals.
Yeah.
And
now you can like stick them like in at an angle, and that's fine.
Which is what I've done constantly.
Mm-hmm.
Or in my case, I just put one on one side, one on the other, and make it look like a little snowman.
The director says that Soundwave says that Chick-fil-A is superior, Popeye inferior. I don't know, I only got a Popeyes in my town. I haven't been to a Chick-fil-A in years.
Chick-fil-A is run by freaking homophobic jerks. Ow, my elbows popped.
Honestly, okay, I'm gonna be
half of the businesses in my town.
Right. I mean, like, I went to a Chick-fil-A once. Like, I kept hearing about how amazing it was, how great the chicken tasted. And so finally, excuse me, sorry. So finally, one day, I went to a Chick-fil-A with a friend, and I got just, like, some chicken bites or something, and and I'm just like...
Yep, that's chicken.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically all I could say about it, is that it was incredibly bland. It didn't even taste terrible. It tasted bland. And I'm just like, this is what people have been going nuts over? And so like, a week or two later, like when I was hungry and I needed to be at work soon, and I was hungry, so I got some. I went there again because I thought, well, maybe they were just, sometimes you go to a place, you hear it has a really good reputation. You go there, and it's not that great, but then you go back another time, and it's really great. Sometimes people just have an off day. So I figured, I'll give them another chance, and I was like, yep, bland. And after that, I was just like, no, I'm not going back for a third time.
So the Popeye's chicken sandwich, on the other hand, motherfuckers got stabbed to death for it.
Yep.
I also remember there was a commercial that was going around during.
Also, I don't think it's worth being stabbed over. I've had one. It's like
it's chicken sandwich.
It's a good chicken sandwich, but
I remember there was a commercial.
I have a soft spot. I have a soft spot for the McDonald's crispy chicken sandwich. If you can get that one fresh out of the fryer and not burn your mouth, that's pretty damn good.
What were you going to say, Kat?
Thank you. So there was commercials floating around about how Popeyes cares, not Popeyes, Chick-fil-A cares, because this was right after the whole controversy about the owner being a massive homophobe. And like there was this one commercial where it's a family of like 5, like it's a mom and 5 kids, and she's like, every Sunday every day on the weekend we go to Popeye's Chicken to go because it's our ritual on the weekend and our kids look forward to it. One day we got really late and it was past closing time, but the manager let us in so we could order our weekend meal because they knew it was that important to us. I go, they spat in your food and hated you because of it. It's like it was right at the end of closing time and they missed it, and they were like, they cared enough to feed us. Yeah, and you got a lot of spit in your food. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh god.
No one is that happy when you're right near when you try to come in during closing time.
See, I just know that the damn Burger King in my town, they don't understand when their closing time actually is. I know it's like, hey, you gotta give they're hard workers. It's not an easy job. A lot of people seem to think that it's simplest thing ever, but it's a lot of manual labor all day, a damn day that doesn't end. But the sign on the door says they close at 10. Why is it when I show up at 8:15, they're already closed the dining room?
Okay, so your issue isn't that they are not... Okay, that is odd. Maybe there were emergencies?
Why? It's too frequent for that.
Lone Dragon just dropped $2 and went, a sea monster ate my super chats.
Got that one.
I know what that refers to.
And we got a drop from for $4.99 by Iron Baron. Decker, if they ever make Scream 5, how would you feel about Randy being the mastermind behind all the killings in the previous films? You mean creepy, because he's the one who's reviewed it.
I would feel like that would be a lot of retconning.
I would be something. Didn't Randy get killed in the second one?
Yeah, it's not a retcon can't fix.
He did. Although,
just pour some Robitussin in the wound. You'll be fine. Just a little bit of Robitussin and some ginger.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 saying creepy. It's the sauces that make Chick-fil-A good.
Creepy, if I may. That's like telling anyone, because it's like barbecue. If you're telling me that you have to put sauce on your barbecue to make your barbecue taste good, you're bad at barbecue.
Yeah.
You gotta you put in the rub, you put in the brine, you put in the smoke, you put in the tender, loving hours of working on that delicious.
A good smoke is all a barbecue really needs.
But you get what I'm saying. You actually tend to it.
You barbecue the damn thing.
Yeah, you don't. If you have to rely on sauce as your delivery method of flavor.
That's what I do when I bake it.
I'm on your side here. Yeah.
I'm sorry. I just get mad at restaurants that are like, we're a barbecue place, and they give you the bland ass barbecue, and they're like, oh, here are 20 different sauces. Something just fell because of my anger.
Like, causing the room to shake around you.
Well, this desk easily shakes because of me.
It's that part where everything freezes and it just kind of zooms out and the little tiny bits come up from the ground like.
And then Mom's like, oh, darn it, my daughter's talking about barbecue sauce again. Barbecue. Call Uncle Al.
On the plus side, since I plugged this back into my desktop instead of the Surface, since it wasn't working through the Surface anymore, everyone actually sounds right.
We do?
Yeah, you're not all glitchy, painful robots.
Yeah. Barbecue sauce is like techno music. If you put way too much bass in your techno music, it's not as enjoyable. But if you put way too much sauce and you're relying on it, you're just trying to cover bad things. I'm a snob. I know.
I got some requests to actually do some more cooking on my gaming channel. Also, I got requests to never cook again.
My request,
or never hold a knife again, specifically.
maybe you should do baking. No knives in baking. Okay, there's some knives in baking. Do cookies. Just don't do the Toll House log and you'll be fine.
I do not do the Toll House. I
Don't do the Toll.
make the cookie dough.
I know.
Because I follow the recipe on the Toll House.
My mom's like, here's our family recipe for chocolate chip cookies. Mom, this is the Toll House container, and it has a sticky note on it that says, add this to make it more chewy. Our secret family recipe. Did you know Toll House cookies were actually invented by a woman who basically got cheated out, who basically told her recipe for like a lifetime's worth of chocolate?
Yeah, Bullfwine on Twitch says, watching me cut with the knife made them scared.
I got an anxiety attack because of that.
You tell me that I should, like, curl my fingers back when holding things. Well, then what am I holding the things with?
Pretend. We need more lighting. Thank you. This is my cooking knife. Yes, this is my little plasmatic knife that I own. Pretend there's an onion here. Hand. Curl. Choppy, choppy, choppy.
But then how am I holding the onion if my fingers are curled back? It's just going to slippy slip.
No, not curled back like this. Curled like this.
And I'm just going to chop down my fingers.
No, you just choppy a little bit away from your fingers and move back as you chop.
But I don't move back. I just chop.
Move your hand back. I swear to God, Creepy figure out a way to get me to Texas so I can teach this man how to cut food properly. I'm very
I feel like this needs to be a YouTube video by itself. Like, just...
Cat teaches Decker how to cook?
Yeah.
First guy, I've taught like 3 guys in my life how to cook. They're like, I don't know how to cook. What?
That's frustrating. I don't know how to hold a knife, but I know how to cook.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't really cook. I just eat out or I have my family make it.
I don't. I have a hard time understanding that. I mean, I don't think it's that odd that my mother taught me how to cook. She didn't teach me how to hold a knife. She didn't have a chef's knife.
Yeah, but it's just like I had a old ex-boyfriend. Hard to explain. He was like, yeah, I never really learned how to cook. And I'm like, okay, I was gonna show him because I was cooking dinner that night. I was at his place for 4th of July week, and his dad was like, oh, if you teach him how to cook, that's gonna be a miracle. He couldn't learn worth a squat from me. I go, it's like he made a comment like, it's great for you have a girlfriend. She can teach you how to cook. Knife, rising.
I just remember when I moved out on my own, a lot of the people I worked with was like, oh, it's a good thing where you're moving has a lot of restaurants and fast food joints and stuff, now that you don't have anyone cooking for you. And I was like, who the hell do you think you're talking to? You think I don't know how to cook?
No, it's weird because
I'm going to make all of the fettuccine with chicken and mushrooms.
Oh, that sounds good. No, my grandma called us up a while back, because you do that. And she was like, she felt sorry that she never really taught me how to cook. And I go, no problem. I have a lovely thing. It's called the internet. And also, hours upon hours of watching Food Network. I learned how to cook.
See, it's really good if you get some portobello, dice it up, saute that a bit, and with just a little bit of butter. Cook the chicken with some salt and pepper, just chopped up, sauteed a bit separately. Then just make your fettuccine as you make your fettuccine. Put it together with whatever Alfredo sauce you can do. I can't make my own Alfredo sauce yet. Don't know how. Probably could learn. Not going to be good at it. But I could try. Right now I use jars, but it's good enough. You get your noodles, you get your jars of fettuccine, your jars of Alfredo. jars of Alfredo. And your chicken, your portobello, throw that all together, boom! Delish.
Yeah.
Really?
Not that. I did stuffed mushrooms this weekend. Not this week. This week. It's available on my Twitter if you actually looked, or my Instagram. But yeah, it's just like, I don't understand why there are people out there who think, oh, young people don't know how to cook. Or, like, young people are too stubborn to learn how to cook. I'm like, dude, internet.
Making noodles, that's an easy, cool thing you can video and post. I was actually looking up how to make noodles themselves, like actually from scratch. Make pasta.
Or like Asian noodles?
Like Italian-style pasta.
I can teach you that.
As far as I know, it's like olive oil, egg, flour, and
semolina. You want to get all specific?
Yeah. I don't have a pasta press though, but
just do it by hand and roll out and pray to God.
Yeah.
I mean, Italian grandmothers do it all by hand.
I was looking up how to do it because not too long ago, because of Redacted, it was really fucking hard to find spaghetti.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can also use a rolling pin. I mean, just,
or a bottle of wine.
Yeah, that too.
Okay, so I need to get myself some wine.
Or a beer bottle.
Or a bowling. Or you could get a really thick dowel rod.
A bowling pin.
A bowling pin. Use a bowling pin. No, dowel rods, which you can buy at the craft store, like a really big, thick one.
Oh, I've got. Well, I don't have a big, thick one, but.
Clip that.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, okay. But yeah. Well, we have other news.
We have news. That's right. We were supposed to be talking about.
We're supposed to talk about news at some point.
But food is so fun to talk about, and now I need to figure out a way to get my butt to Decker's house and be like, "Hi, I'm here to teach you how to use a knife properly. Get over here. Here's 300 potatoes."
Nicolas Cage to play in a Tiger King thing. I don't understand it all. I haven't seen Tiger King. I already get the gist of it enough to know that I really probably don't want to watch it.
Don't want to. Tiger King is about a guy who owns what he calls a conservation zoo thingy, but
it's pretty much as far as I've picked up.
It's pretty terrible.
Deception, animal abuse, real freaky shit. Just like in general, like that's some kinky shit. You're using the whole damn chicken.
Yeah. Lone Dragon just asked, "Are you gonna do Velocipastor this time in December?"
Well, I know that if I don't, there's going to be an angry mob outside my door. But those can be fun.
You really want to deal with an angry mob of people who actually know how to properly use a knife in the kitchen?
Oh, now you put it that way.
Thank you, Kat.
You're welcome.
Although there were several Decker clones and Wheelchair Michael that showed up outside of his house to protest me being in a summer crossover video.
I like when you're in the summer crossover videos. I look forward to it.
Oh,
okay. I've got some comments saying that the Joker review was really good, and I'm glad people liked it. I was really concerned, honestly, because I know Joker got just rave reviews, and people saying it's like one of the best movies ever made, and I'm like, yeah, it's good, but it does have its issues that kind of hold it back from me calling it a really fantastic film.
Yeah.
But the reception has actually been a lot more positive than I was anticipating. So I'm thankful about that. But there have been a few negative comments, but also, there were actually some constructive criticism that I got, which that's also nice when I see that. When someone actually takes the time to explain their angle, that helps me see from more angles, and I understand it better myself. So.
Mm-hmm.
Brian McCain, Decker has already reviewed 300. His 300th episode.
There's another 300.
Yeah. So you broke up a little bit there, Kat. What'd you say?
I was just saying that Decker has reviewed 300, Creepy was in it, and Lady Gaga music is playing.
Yep.
But
because it's a S&M Tops fighting of drag queen.
Yep.
But yeah, there was actually like there were a few just mean comments, but there was one that was just really funny to me.
Was it?
Um,
Oh my god.
there were
Understand
one person they didn't say anything at all about the movie or the review. They were just trying to like get under my skin. I think it was just straight ad hominem out of the gate. It's like you do not qualify to be allowed to talk about this gold. Go back and play D&D with the wheelchair kid.
Excuse me,
So
I'm gonna need
I went over to my fiance and I'm like, "Hey, wheelchair kid, we gotta go play D&D now."
where is this guy? I have no reasons to be going in. I'm one of those people, like, I'm sweet and adorable. You insult my friends, death.
Oh, obviously you've never read a lot of the comments that were left on Decker's reviews whenever I showed up, Kat.
No. I've seen a few of them. I've read a few of them. I remember you guys doing that episode of reading 4chan comments. I actually found a few really mean comments about me from live streams, and I'm just like,
Yeah, it's Brian McCann. It's trolls, Decker. Those are trolls. It's like,
Yeah.
there was nothing constructive at all about the comment left. The worst thing I could do is exactly what I'm doing now, which is bringing attention to it.
Right. And Kat, I wouldn't let it get to you too much. When I first joined Decker, everyone hated me. When the three of us started doing the show together, everyone was against Patricia. It's just that you're new here, so you've got a great big target on your forehead, unfortunately.
yeah, it's basically, this is a new thing. I don't like new things.
Yes. I am old and cranky and against anything new. I only like Madlock.
Are updating their site, and it is horrible. I'm not against the change. I'm against how buggy and bad it is.
Right.
But there is something.
See, that is a constructive thing. You're not saying that the change itself is bad. You're saying that the fact that the website no longer functions is the problem. But yeah.
Just send feedback. I'm like, I discovered when I was doing my massive feedback to them, I had a limited number of characters to give them. I'm going, part 1, send. Send. Part 3. Send.
But also, there was one comment in the Power Rangers review that Decker and I did together back in December, where someone said that every time that I would do a crossover with Decker, they would scroll down through the comment section and just read all of the bile and rage that everybody threw at me. And they said that now it's just like, I hate creepy. It's like, oh well, next time. Like they're hoping that people will be angrier next time.
I used to do the same thing, and then I would be like, oh, come on, he's a nice guy. He's not that evil. And I'm now friends with him, and he's not that evil.
Just received 1,000 messages today with Restream chat. Nice.
Awesome.
It just occasionally it gave us a little trophy kind of symbol for that, so.
Oh, good.
Get a yogurt lid or something? Can I have some kind of material?
Also,
please?
on Twitch, Bolfwine says Creepy is really fun, and I enjoy his point of view and how Creepy and Decker bounce off each other.
Oh, well, thank you.
How about me? Come on, come at me. I work well with positive reinforcement.
She's an artist. She needs praise.
Yes, I do. I'm an artist who has self-doubt.
But if art just doesn't go anywhere, then it has to be reinvented, as we see with Jurassic World 3. That was a terrible segue.
That is the worst segue you've come up with. That's like the segue that ran me over at Epcot.
But according to Screen Rant, Jurassic World 3 is finally making the franchise exciting again. Yeah.
No one's going to ask about the segue running me over at Epcot. Good!
There is renewed excitement around Jurassic World Dominion, after a battle at Big Rick and with franchise... What? After battle at Big Rick and with franchise writer-director Colin Trevorrow at the helm.
Okay.
At the first two installments of Jurassic Park sequel series got mixed reviews, Jurassic World 3 is reviving excitement to the franchise. What, they going to do the Indomolophosaurus?
They're going to actually give the Iguanodon a proper tail. No, wait,
No,
it's not the.
no.
The
They're gonna add a
Spinosaurus.
bunch of-
Spinosaurus
they're
is
gonna
the
add
one
a bunch
that
of
they
intelligent
figured out that the
characters
tail
to the
is
franchise.
like a salamander, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
No, wait,
No,
is it the
they're
iguanodon that got the new tail, or is it? No, it's the
Spinosaurus.
Spinosaurus.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Dinosaur
they're gonna add a bunch of kid characters to the cast now.
No. Can't they just do Dinotopia? I like Dinotopia. Bring Dinotopia back.
Let's see.
At
2015's
least finish
Jurassic.
the Hallmark series.
Yeah.
2015's Jurassic World takes place 22 years after the events of the very first Jurassic Park. After production stalled on a fourth Jurassic Park movie, director Steven Spielberg suggested that writers Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver explore the possibility of a functioning theme park, which is what Jurassic World gave audiences. In the capable hands of operations manager Claire Deering, Bryce Dallas Howard, the park is everything fans could have dreamed of and more. But as is usually the case in the world of dinosaur theme parks, chaos ensues when the park's latest genetic hybrid, the Indominus Rexes, breaks loose and terrorizes park. That says it right there, Rexes. Breaks loose and terrorizes park attendees, including Claire's own nephews, forcing Claire to ask Navy veteran and Velociraptor trainer Owen Grady Quith-Platt for his help.
See? Annoying kid characters. They talk about nephews of annoying kid character.
The sequel, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, follows Claire and Owen as they travel to Isla Nublar after their breakup again and falling in love again. The Central American island is where the park was built, an attempt to rescue the abandoned dinosaurs before the island's impending volcanic eruption. What follows is a wild ride in the dark underbelly of black market trading, featuring dinosaurs. Jurassic World 2 introduces the Indoraptor, the latest terrifying creation of Jurassic Park veteran and geneticist Dr. Henry Wu, and the Indominus Rex's successor.
Indoraptor, so it's a raptor with an endoskeleton?
It's
it's
an
a raptor.
Indominus Rex mixed with a raptor, which is a funny thing considering Indominus Rex was already fucking mixed with a
I was about to
raptor.
say, it has a raptor. Is it just more raptor?
Yeah.
I was gonna say Rebecca Box.
Both films performed very well at the box office, and both were in the top 3 highest-grossing films of their release years, with Jurassic World coming in first place, but they ultimately left something to be desired. Well, that's a way to say that if Jurassic World 1 was just okay and Jurassic World 2 was crap.
You know what they should do? Okay, so this was a lost. Wasn't there there was a lost concept which involved dinosaur-human hybrids, and I know that Halloween Horror Nights actually took that concept for their for a Halloween haunted thing in like the early 2000s.
God, this is a long article.
Yeah.
I'm like, why don't they do the dinosaur-human hybrids? That would be
You know what I
interesting.
think? Honestly,
What?
you know what I think should have happened? I think the Jurassic Park should have been a video game series instead of a movie
How
series.
many? How do I do a word count?
Why are you doing? Okay, is this longer than the one about?
No.
Is this what I read Pee Wee Herman's life story to the world?
That none of us wanted.
Yeah. I'm just like, freaking end article. I want my life back.
This is the article that never ends.
Why must you keep doing
9,
that?
10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, it's about 13 mouse wheel scrolls down.
Okay.
That's a long...
I think you can stop now.
Yeah, I think we get the point.
General idea.
Jurassic World 3's coming. Jurassic World 1 and 2 kinda did... I mean, they made enough money for them to say, let's try this again. But especially Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom is
I
just...
remember someone on Tumblr actually did a whole essay explaining why the original Jurassic Park series are still better than the new ones.
Mhm.
Animatronics is one of them, which made the acting a little bit more realistic, of course.
Yeah.
But there weren't as many action scenes involving the dinosaurs.
I love the behind-the-scenes footage when they have the actors reacting to the special effects, but they have to react to something that's actually on set so that they know where to look. So, be
Tennis
terrified
ball.
of the tennis ball. You're scared of the tennis ball. You're scared of the tennis ball. It's the tennis ball.
Or like the one guy in the blue screen outfit with a giant Hulk head up there. I want to be like watch a Jurassic Park movie and just be like, how I was when I first saw it when I was a kid. Like, you know what I mean? I want the awe.
Both Wine says they're still better because the newer ones just crutch on nostalgia. I think that's a problem with a lot of sequels and the like in a lot of franchises, is they like to call back to the first movies, but in what they should do, in my opinion, is you recognize this classic scene instead of just referencing it. Like, hey, remember that?
Yeah, remember the
Think
Banner
about
movie?
why it worked, and try and come up with something that has the same feel.
Yeah. Like,
Basically, all of the movie executives tell the writer, just do the same thing that you did last time.
it's like, okay, I'm about to bring up a touchy subject. The all-girl Ghostbuster movie? Okay. They kept doing references to the original one. Like, I did thought, okay, they're doing a nod to the actor who died. I'm like, okay, when you see the bust at the school, I'm like, okay, that's cute. That's nice. A cute little nod. Then they have the old actors back as different characters. I'm like, and then they do a reference to the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, which technically shouldn't even exist in this universe. Like, and then a reference to the old logo. Like, I get you wanting to do a reference to something or a nod to something, but when you're doing it so much that I'd rather be watching the thing that you're making a nod to and the thing I paid $10 to watch, there might be something wrong. Also, there were a lot of other problems with the female Ghostbusters movie. I am saying this. I could do a whole video essay on it if I wanted to. I don't want to.
Also, Jason Doiron dropped $5 Canadian saying, "Hey, creepy, have you ever done drugs?" I'm sorry, force of habit. Have you ever done retrospective excaflone? If you have not, do you think you should? Do you think you could? I have done drugs.
I have not seen Escaflowne all the way to the end. A friend let me borrow it. I started watching it, and then I'm not really sure. I just kind of got busy. Plus, it was someone had to get, it was a copy of his. Someone had taken out like all of the breaks and everything in it. It was basically like just all of the episodes strung together into like 2 movies that were 10 hours long or something like that. So
The guy who did that with all the Mandalorian episodes as of late.
but yeah, so basically, I haven't finished it. I wouldn't necessarily be against it one day.
Are you against doing the Sailor Moon retrospective?
Okay. Look, Sailor Moon season 1 and 2 are a mixed bag. Season 3 was amazing. Season 4 is a different kind of mixed bag. Season 5, well, that's a really debatable issue because I actually liked the Starlight. So, yeah.
Sailor Moon.
Inakae desu yo. I watched so much Sailor Moon in Japanese, I actually know that line by heart. I mean, if you watch the redub that they did recently, it's really good, and they actually did dub the Starlight, so it's like, yay.
Oh, yeah.
We don't talk about Sailor Moon Crystal. We don't talk about Sailor Moon Crystal. I'd rather talk about the live-action musicals and the live-action TV series than Crystal.
What about the always thinking about the canceled American Sailor Moon things? Sailor Mercury in the wheelchair, riding on her flying
you're talking about
surfboard on the wheelchair. Jet magic wheelchair flying surfboard.
Mm-hmm.
Remind me to send Decker. They found a script to one of the episodes. I think someone on YouTube has actually done a dramatic reading of it. Ow! Zenithus Moon Shadow goes, so is she going to review Sailor Moon Crystal? No! Because 1, I'm not a review channel. I am an art channel. And 2, I don't know how I would review it. I don't think I would go by episode. And also there's a bunch of other channels that are way better than I am that can actually review it. Creepy doing
Cardcaptor Sakura is vastly superior to Sailor Moon. I didn't see nearly enough of Cardcaptor Sakura to make
Cardcaptor
that
Sakura.
kind of claim, but I'm gonna lean towards Sailor Moon. Yeah.
Well, here's the fun thing about the English dub of Cardcaptor Sakura that will forever live in my brain. It is dinner time. Sakura is serving dinner, and it's ramen for all those who want to know, and she's handing it to her brother, going, "Brother, would you like a hamburger?" Holding a bowl of ramen. Like a hamburger. That was in the original English dubbing. I'm like, said,
4 kids.
no, it was like done soup. Hamburger.
Yeah, pretty much.
Here, we have Big Macs.
It's like the first dubbing of the first Phoenix Wright game. It's set in Japan, but they say it's set in Los Angeles.
Well, at least, and like, it's not like objection is not even what they say in the original Japanese version. I can't remember the word for it, but it basically means I disagree. You know,
Yeah.
Well,
because
that is an
in
objection.
Japan, a courtroom case is less like, arguing, but it's more like a debate, basically. Yeah.
But it's just, I have a list of some weird dubbing translations that I've seen. It's like, but there's like one dubbing that was dubbed to English, and it's a bunch of students that are supposed to read this map and solve this like puzzle, right? And they did like a 1-to-1 translation. The problem was they're like, we don't know how to speak English. None of us know how to read English. I was like, saying this in English. Like, I don't know. I didn't pay attention in English class. Like, y'all are speaking English. There's a reason why I'm not the biggest fan of 1-to-1 dubbing. Right there. It's like, change it to Japanese. Change it to French. Change it to something.
Spider Guy 2019 says, arguably worse than Brock not knowing what a jelly donut is. That's a classic scene.
That's actually my status right now on Discord.
These donuts are great. Boy. Jelly are my
jelly
favorite.
Donuts?
Nothing beats a jelly-filled donut.
I'm gonna turn my frying pan into a drying pan.
God damn it.
Okay, Motorcycle US dropped $2 going creepy. When kidnapping Decker and making watch anime. Can I be there when you make him watch anime? I got a few animes he might actually enjoy. How do you feel about
Well, I know that Decker does watch some anime. He watched Devilman Crybaby. I know that seriously freaked him out. So I think it freaked him out more than the live action movie did.
Well, I mean, there was a lot more going on in Crybaby, and it's animated, but it's also a little more graphic.
How about we watch something that won't scar him for life? How do you feel about girls running around in skimpy costumes, ripping clothes off?
I think I've seen that one.
You've seen Kill la Kill?
No, that was Cutie Hunting.
Kill la Kill. No, I have the demo for that game on Switch. The Kill la Kill. Which Kill la Kill game is it? Well, they have it on Switch. It's fun.
Oh, how do you feel about a sports anime that makes fun of sports anime and it's about what's that one game where girls there's a pool, there's a disc in the pool, the girls are on it and they have to push each other off with their boobs and their butt. It's in Dead or Alive, that one Dead or Alive game. Don't! Why are you making fun of my crabbing? It's how I think. I could have known. It's
Motorcycle US says we missed their super chat. No, that was a kidnapping, creepy kidnapping.
How do you feel about people making delicious-looking food and having near orgasmic expressions eating the said food because it's that good?
That's just my life.
I've seen advertisements for Food Wars.
It is good. The food looks wonderful. There are some people who actually break down the recipes so you can actually make it at home. I'm trying to convince my mother to let me buy some Japanese ingredients so I can actually make some of the food.
Okay, so do we have any more news?
I have some Inuyasha news.
That's on topic.
Speaking of anime.
It's time for anime.
Go ahead.
Niax. Hold on. Getting an article. Give me a second. It takes a while. Yes, I want to share the screen.
Dobby's washing his butt.
I dare you to show that on YouTube and see if we lose our monetization.
We're gonna get it shut down immediately if I show Dobby washing his butt. He got a big fuzzy butt.
Just on my screen. Anyway, Inuyasha sequel reveals official title and first story details. After details popped online, seemingly teasing that a new anime set after the events of Rumiko Takahashi's Inuyasha was in the works, Viz Media has officially confirmed this to be the case, announcing on their website that the new sequel anime will be set in Inuyasha's universe following Inuyasha and Shishomaru's daughters. Inuyasha, Shishomaru has had sex? Ugh. I hope it's not with that little girl who hung out with him. I really hope not.
Rin.
Rin, yeah. Not only that, but the new anime project also confirms its official English language title, Yashahime, Princess Half Demon. Well, that's gonna roll off the tongue usually. Along with the reveal of its title comes the first story details for the new series as well. According to the new synopsis from Viz Media, Yashahime, Princess Half Demon, will be a story transcending time. Annie? As a new set of characters are involved in the same kind of kooky portal shenanigans Kagome found herself stuck in the original series. Viz Media officially describes the story as in feudal Japan, half-demon twins Towa and Setsuna, isn't that a type of orange? Sorry. Are separated from each other during the forest fire. While desperately searching for her younger sister, Towa wanders into a mysterious tunnel that sends her into a present-day Japan.
Where and she has to go to high school.
Kagome Higarashi's brother Sota and his family.
Crap, she does have to go to high school.
She had to go to high school. Oh, Lord. Elaborating further, the sequel then reveals its more direct connection to the original. 10 years later, the tunnel that connects the two eras has reopened, allowing Towa to be reunited with Setsuna, who is now a demon slayer working for Kohaku. I'm trying to remember who Kohaku was. But to Towa's shock, Setsuna appears to have lost all memories of her older sister. Joined by Mohora, the daughter of Inuyasha and Kagome, the three young women travel between the two eras on an adventure to regain their missing past. I have a question. Why do they gotta go to the future if they're trying to understand their past? I'm confused.
You think they could just go further past?
No, they can't. The tunnel only goes to AKA modern Japan or modern Japan 10 years
Why does it always happen to be to die? Anyway, Lone Dragon dropped $2 and said, "My cat's breath smells like cat food." Those are the chats to get through.
My cat's breath smells like cat food.
I'm trying to figure out exactly what it was that it was trying to say all those other times.
Anyway, now that a sequel has been confirmed in the works and features Inuyasha and Kagome's daughter, it's just a matter of time seeing how involved the original series characters will be in the new anime. Please give me Kirara. Please give me Kirara. It has yet to be confirmed what form this new anime project will take, but a story like this would definitely make for a strong series, especially when factoring in updates in for other fan favorites like Shishomaru. You just want to see a bishy guy. Are you excited to see Inuyasha continue with an official anime sequel? Blah, blah, blah.
I remember I was excited when the final chapter came out, but I don't know.
Well, here's the thing for me. I am a huge Inuyasha fan. So, one hand, new Inuyasha content for me to enjoy, be inspired by, blah, blah, blah. Other hand, Boruto exists and it's crap, and I'm worried it's going to turn into Boruto but Inuyasha coding. This is my worry. This is my worry. I want it to be good. I do. But I'm also, like, concerned on a massive level. Iron Baron donated $1.99 and said, "When will you review the Matrix trilogy?"
I should probably do that. I should probably do that sooner rather than later because I've been doing a lot of horror and I have a lot of horror lined up, and I don't want to just do nothing but horror.
You're getting in a rut. You want to get out of the rut.
No, that's just general life right there. But I'm just, I don't mind doing the same thing over and over again that I really like. That's why I have played nothing but EDF for the last few months.
I have done nothing but teleport bread for the past 3 days.
I've been playing EDF 5 on PlayStation 4. I'm getting closer and closer to the Platinum Trophy. I've been playing EDF 5 on PC. I've been playing that on occasion with Thick Black Daddy. He's a Twitch streamer.
I know he is. I always raise my eyebrow when I hear his name.
He's been a good friend of mine for years, since long before I was on YouTube.
I know.
I have known Thick Black Daddy. Close.
Was he also the one who was on your Serious Sam video series? Or is that a different guy?
He was.
Oh. He was the one who was wearing the racist caricature on his back, right?
Yes.
Can you tell how bored I get and I just watch your backlog? It's like, I need background noise. Oh, look!
But, also got Iron Rain on PS4 and PC. I sent a message to the developers of Iron Rain today about a certain problem, a certain bug that goes when you're trying to play that online on PC that I found a fix to that I hope that they can patch into the game. Every 4 seconds the game hitches slightly, which if you're playing with mouse and keyboard can throw your aim off drastically. It like loses 3 frames and then it figures that's entirely mouse acceleration the whole time, and it just multiplies where you were turning by a huge amount, and it's a real fucking banger there. And it makes it really hard to play online unless you go into your Windows 10 settings and say that you are not allowing any desktop applications to access the microphone. That's the only way to get it to not. That's the only way to get it to stop trying. And it tries so hard to access that microphone. It accesses it so hard, even if you have it set push to talk, even if you turn it down, it will always be on full blast. It just keeps trying that. There's some kind of problem there, but if you turn off the microphone access entirely to the program, it can't do that anymore, and the game actually runs fine online.
Lone Dragon donated $2 and said, Star Chaser, The Legend of Orin is in horror. What is that movie?
It's a request that has been going for a long, long time.
You might want to do it before he runs out of money.
But we're at about 2.5 hours, and we pretty much have run out of news to talk about. So we could talk about the things going on for us.
True.
I did not set any fires today.
I've been trying not to go crazy.
You've tried? I'm losing it. I started singing the Cabin Fever song by the Muppets lately.
Well, that's at least you're doing something.
We've got Cabin Fever. I'm surprised that song hasn't caught on a lot crazier lately.
I know! It is kind of weird that it didn't, like just explode.
You 90s children, I am offended and I am ashamed of all of you. You 80s children as well.
Oh.
And you early 2000s children, not as offended, but slightly.
But yeah.
How dare you all?
Yeah, I was hoping to actually play some EDF Iron Rain with Creepy. I was trying to see if they had fixed some issues that I heard of, like being able to change difficulty in the lobby or not. You can in the PC version right now, but it also doesn't run right unless you turn off microphones entirely to the computer.
Which is a problem, because how will you communicate with your people?
Right.
Yeah. Everyone has to have a second computer and just have the voice chat set up over there, like on a laptop next to their computer.
Oh, you mean like what I had to do for our streams before I bought my webcam?
Yes, that.
That nightmare.
Yeah.
Well, 70s child, I'm even more offended, because you were raised with the Muppets. How dare ye!
Yeah, so I'm not sure how the multiplayer runs on EDF Iron Rain on PS4, but I'm hoping it wouldn't have that bug. Because I know that PS4 handles chat differently than Steam does. It's just the fact that it was constantly always trying to run the microphone. That's what was causing hitches in the runtime. And it's just like, I don't have access to the code, but I can fuck with my computer enough to figure out what the problem is.
Oh, you're basically doing the Bethesda player technique.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. We got mods, and we got prayer, and I'm about to do something really stupid that either is going to break my game, or break my computer, or break me.
Yeah. We will play some EDF Iron Rain soon, Decker. I didn't play with you. Well, first I had to download the game.
Yeah,
which
takes a while.
while.
Takes a while. And then
Yeah,
we do have... Creepy and I have a crossover coming up, and it takes a while to get all of the stuff processed and transferred and then edited and then processed and then uploaded. And just, it's...
making the thumbnail.
Right.
It's going to take some time still, unfortunately, but it is coming soon.
Right. Plus, the yesterday was D&D night, so I was also doing that. So there's a lot of stuff just happening right now. But we will play some Iron Rain soon. I am curious about it, I will be honest.
Yeah, I was figuring, like, we still haven't finished all of EDF 5's DLC, but we're at the point where it's just, the theme is kind of the same. They're throwing an insane amount of shit at you. Hope you live. And we got like 10 more levels of that or something.
See, this is why I like Killing Floor. Nothing crazy like this. Unless you play the higher levels. Oh lord.
But yeah, Iron Rain is a spin-off game of EDF, and it's got a bad rep because EDF players are a special bunch. We're the ones that are like, yeah, EDF games have terrible graphics. If they make a new EDF game, I hope it also has terrible graphics. Because then if it doesn't, then it is not EDF. So if it
suddenly gave you like an EDF game, and it's just like an EDF game, but it's like beautiful, wonderful.
There would be people angry about that. I'm there in the side saying, it could still be fun. It could still be a fun game. So Iron Rain is it doesn't have the giant like hordes of 500 enemies at once. Good luck, bitch. Like that doesn't happen in Iron Rain.
Oh, thank goodness.
But you get huge hordes of like 100 enemies. Sometimes.
Are they deadly?
Oh, they're much harder to deal with than they are in mainline EDF. They're tougher bastards. And your character's not nearly as nimble. But you have better dodging capability. Like, you can't run as fast, but your dodge can actually dodge things.
Ah, so you start doing the dodge roll technique from all Dark Souls games.
But you're limited in how much you can dodge.
Ah.
Whereas in mainline EDF, you can dodge forever.
I was about to say, Dark Souls, get on to that. Next Dark Souls game, limit the amount of rolls you can do.
But they already have that. That's the stamina bar.
Limit it more! Limit it. Make them unable to roll. Make them take the hits like a man. Or like a person. Also, all the people who are listing old TV shows, I remember all of those because there's this lovely thing that was called TV Land and Nick at Night that I used to watch a lot as a kid.
But it's funny because I was jumping back into Iron Rain because I had played it before, and I was trying to give myself a refresher so I can give Creepy some tips. And I was playing through the different classes, and I realized, like, every single... In mainline EDF, wing divers have an energy bar.
Uh-huh.
In Iron Rain, everyone has an energy bar.
That's bad?
They all behave differently.
That's very bad.
There's an emergency charge if you run out of energy. The speed at which the emergency charge comes back is different based on your class. It could be faster than your normal charge. It could be slower. It could be the same speed. It's different for everyone.
Iron Baron, I'm listening, Digger's like, Iron Baron, Friends was never funny. Never been funny. I watched, like, the first couple seasons, and I'm like...
Lone Dragon's asking Creepy for a respective of Conan the Adventurer. Also, they say that I have video lag.
Wow.
Could.
It's going now.
Yeah, that's a funny thing, because I have some vague memories of Conan the Adventurer, but you want to know who is a fan of Conan Adventurer, Cthulhu.
Ah.
So that might actually be something that could happen because
You dress Cthulhu up like a little Conan. Just put the little fairy.
Just give him a little loincloth, like a little felt and that leather strip kind of stuff they have.
You know, like the cheap stuff they put on really cheap dolls. Or like on action figures, just like, we're gonna just take this from the Masters of the Universe thing. There.
And of course the little Conan
headband, leather headband thing.
Teeny tiny fork, but you could get one of those teeny tiny knife, but it could be one of those cocktail knives. You know, toothpicks.
I could just use a butter knife.
But it's not a sword. The little toothpicks are swords.
I know they make baby spoons. Do they make baby knives?
Why would they make a baby knife?
I needed it. I didn't learn how to use a knife.
Okay, Decker, here's your knife. It has training wheels on it.
Thank you.
And a hand guard.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry. Anyway, hi.
Hi.
Okay, so yeah. Goddamn, all the classes have different workings. Freaking thing. Also, I'm not sure, but I know that I'm not sure if you can just skip right to multiplayer in Iron Rain. I know when you first turn it on, there is a prologue mission that you're supposed to play.
Uh-huh.
I am not sure that might be single player only.
Uh-huh.
You just start off, you're in Trooper PA gear, and there's some shit you gotta deal with, and this sets up the story. It's important.
I know. Yes, story is very important when fighting God.
No, that's EDF 5.
Oh, sorry.
EDF Iron Rain. I'm trying to think, what the hell is the name of the creatures? Because they keep calling them. I mean, they call them bugs. They call them giant insects. They call them ravagers.
Just like us.
But mostly they just call them aggressors. Which technically, it's not the worst name. Have you ever heard the literal Japanese translations for what the names of the enemies are? Like in EDF 5, in EDF 3, 4, and 3, they're called Ravagers in America. In EDF 5, they're called Primers.
Mm-hmm.
What are they priming up for?
In EDF 3 and 4 in Japan, the technical literal translation of the word they call them is foreigners.
Oh.
And in EDF 5, they have a new name. In Japan, the word translates to immigrants.
This game is spelling a little racist. I'm just going to tell you that right now, Decker. Maybe you should... Decker? I'm concerned. I just now noticed that my Pygmy Puff and Archimedes are in the background of this video. Hello, Archimedes. How are you doing?
I don't know about EDF 1 or 2, though. EDF 2 was only ever released in America on PS Vita, and in that, the enemies are referred to as Buggernauts.
That's a better name. I want them to be all called Buggernauts.
Oh, boy. I want to actually get a PS Vita just so I can have EDF 2. It never came out in America. It's a Japanese game that was released in frickin' Britain, but it never came out in America.
You're like my friend who has a Japanese DS, so he could be playing the Jewel Pet games.
I could get a Japanese PlayStation 2 and play the games as they're meant to be, without understanding a damn thing. But it won't matter, because it's EDF!
So I'm like, can you understand EDF anyway?
Now, when Charlie gets a hold of me, though, she makes me play. She lets me play Assassin's Creed Odyssey.
It's a good game.
Just to have something. She's there, like, come over here. It's an open world AAA experience. And I'm
Come,
here,
look at the beautiful Greek statues.
I'm here like the ants need to be shot.
Do you think in a past life Decker was an exterminator?
Possibly.
Or maybe a future life he's going to be the one who fights the giant bug aliens that invade us, a la Starship Troopers.
That's a fair point.
There are a few Starship Troopers references in Iron Rain. When you go into the database to see your how you've done on missions, how many of these enemies you've killed in total, it actually has information on the enemies as well, and you can expand the information. If you decide to expand the information to read more, the little lady comes over the radio and goes, "Would you like to know more?"
Yes.
So that's nice. It kind of leaned more into the Starship Troopers feel with Iron Rain. There's a lot of people said that Insect Armageddon had more of a Starship Troopers feel to it than mainline EDF, but no one considers Insect Armageddon an EDF game. People at least consider Iron Rain an EDF game.
Come on, come on. Do you want to live forever?
That was in Insect Armageddon. They would shout that on occasion. Of course, they also shouted a bunch of shit that didn't make any sense, but... Like, there's absolutely nothing going on, and the guy comes on the radio, "We've got to close that hole or we're all screwed!" It's like, there's no fucking hole, asshole. Just go away.
Maybe he's meaning the inner hole within your heart.
Oh. That was really the hole all along.
Yes. Yes, see, what you don't know is EDF is actually connected to the Kingdom Hearts universe, because there's a hole in all our hearts that we must unlock, and something Keyblade, something really awesome opening music, something Sephiroth, something anime boys with really spiky hair, too many belts, and weird shoes.
Okay, Anthony Hudak asks, "Hey Decker, do you plan on reviewing any movie version of King Kong? You've covered Godzilla, Gamera, and Mothra, so why not give the eighth wonder of the world a spotlight?"
Summer of King Kong. There's how many King Kongs?
I haven't seen too many King Kongs, but there are a lot, and I saw Peter Jackson's King Kong enough to know that there's enough giant bugs in there to talk about.
Oh God, he's gonna reference everything to EDF now.
Abso-fucking-lutely! Yep. But also, there's the 70s King Kong, which is a real funny one.
Isn't that the one with the weird thing with the monk, where the gorilla breathes on the woman and she looks oddly sexually pleasured?
That's not what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about the fact that they were talking about how the big... It's similar to where the big crisis is we're going to run out of fuel.
And how does that help us via going to Skull Island?
Because Skull Island was really foggy, so they thought, hey... this place must have, like, the biggest fucking oil well we can possibly find! This is gonna be amazing!
Fog?
And then they get there, they find out there's no oil, there's a big fucking monkey. And they're like, shit! Well, we just said that we were gonna bring in a lot of money, what are we gonna do? Got it! Use the monkey.
Does that mean that Decker will also review Mighty Joe Young, which is
Mighty Joe Young, like the original with all the awesome stop motion?
Is that the one that was the Disney one?
I don't know. I just know that the original Mighty Joe Young had really impressive stop motion.
What year did that one come out?
I don't know, it was in black and white.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
I'm not sure either.
Oh, boy.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 going creepy, which is prettier, Sephiroth or Cloud? And Zaniko77 dropped $2 going,
Cloud only wore a dress for a little while.
I'm Batman, I'm Groot, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Okay, well, see, here's the problem. I've never played a Final Fantasy game. The closest thing I ever got to was the Kingdom Hearts games. No one judge! And I thought Cloud was cute, and then my friends are all like, no, he's an asshole. I'm like, he's got a giant knife gun. He's gotten the ticks. He's got a knife gun, he's in all black, and he looks like a biker. Yes! Yes! The ticks have been hit! He has hit a good amount of ticks that allow him to go into the harem. And then I look at Sephiroth going, he keeps beating me, I don't like this. How is he hot? He keeps beating the crap out of me with his compensation sword.
That's true. That's true. And Sephiroth does have a compensation sword, very much.
Yeah, and then someone pointed going, Cloud has one. Yeah, but his has a gun on it and is functional.
Squall had the gun on the sword.
Isn't that Cloud?
Cloud just has the slots for the
right.
materia
He's
that he
right.
can use to summon up like friends because he doesn't have his own.
Oh, so Squall's the one with the gun sword that hit all the ticks.
Gun
Okay.
blade.
Gun blade. Gun knife. Pointy thing that also goes kaboom.
Cloud's signature sword is the Buster Sword.
Right.
Oh, which is the big, giant, blocky one.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, he wasn't that bad looking either. I mean,
But
Squall.
Cloud only wore the dress for a little while. Sephiroth wears a dress the whole game.
Sephiroth has a really long sword that he's really compensating for in a land where giant swords are the norm. I like that because people are like, they all have giant swords. I'm like, no. See, this is an era and a
like
land
15 feet long.
Yeah, but I'm like, this is a land of giant swords are the norm. Sephiroth's sword is much longer than the average long sword, so therefore he's compensating.
Oof. Yeah. things going on, things coming up.
The sun.
Got stuff. I actually have a review coming up that was kind of hard to get the video of because it's not available on DVD.
What video?
Okay.
I mean, technically it's available on Laserdisc.
What video?
The Wizard of Speed and Time.
Okay, see, if you said The Wizard of Oz, I'm like, dude, there's like 15,000 DVDs of that. Like, Dicker!
You can get that in 4K beamed to your brain with 5G.
You can wear the ruby slippers.
You can get the one that Michael Jackson played in.
That's The Wiz, and it's not as good as everyone thinks. The Wiz, the musical, is great. Just not the one with Michael Jackson in it.
Right.
Watch Musical Hell's review about it.
Mm-hmm.
I have to cross-promote. It's my one job in life.
I've got, let's see, I got the Scooby review, the double feature Scooby review out, finally.
I liked
it. Oh, I'm glad. The views on it shot up pretty fast. I'm impressed so far.
I wonder if it's because it's a double feature. Or because you mentioned the is it Hocus Pocus Scooby?
Abracadabra do, yeah.
Abracadabra do, which is apparently really liked, which I didn't know.
Yeah. There's Samurai Sword. Some people are like, I liked this when I was a kid, but now I'm just kind of like, wow, this hasn't aged well. Some people did like Samurai Sword though, and they're very passionate about the fact. Abracadabra do, it seems like for the most part, people were like, I never watched this, and now I feel bad about it. I did watch this, and I loved it.
Yeah, and I remember it being advertised, and I'm thinking, oh, it's a Harry Potter knockoff. But and also, Creepy already got the rant for me about the second half of the Samurai one involving there are 6,852 islands in Japan. 430 of them are inhabited by man. Why couldn't they pick one of the others?
Right.
This is annoying me. I actually Googled up to see, because I'm like, Japan has a lot of islands. How many are there? That many?
It's like, and you took them to the South freaking Pacific.
Which there has been ever, even in the world of Pangea, there has no contact.
So, we have a super chat from Max Lembeck saying, for $20, saying, cooking up some noodles and cheese while I listen to the coolest people on the YouTubes. Looking good, y'all. And also, Motorcycle US was like, Decker, can you ask Creepy to answer? I believe about who's sexier, Cloud or Sephiroth?
I'm gonna go with Cloud. Yeah.
Just the pure evil kind of throws you off?
Pure evil and the compensating for something sword.
I don't know, Cloud can't stop thinking about him. He's always on fire, super hot.
I apologize for not answering, by the way. Sorry about that.
Sorry, I just kind of ranted because, again, I thought it was meant towards me, not towards Creepy. Sorry.
I think it was meant towards all of us.
But yeah, the Scooby review has been doing pretty good. I've got hopefully Batman coming up soon. This is like 2 episodes that have been in demand for a while now.
Mad Love?
For
Is it Mad Love?
no, not Mad Love. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
Matt, we will get to Mad Love. It's on the list. It's part of the show. We're getting there. No, although it does involve Harley. So these are still 2 episodes that are that have been in high demand since we started doing this retrospective. So.
I think one of the episodes involves Harley. I want to take a stab at it, but I don't want to spoil it for the audience.
Well, now I'm kind of curious as to what you think it is.
Is it the episode that involves Harley and Poison Ivy working together after Harley left? And she misses him and she draws his face out with the vegetable. I'm right. I'm right. It's one of any episode that involves Harley Quinn and not Joker makes me happy.
I agree. Those are some of the best loved episodes of the show. Harlequinade, Harley's Holiday. So
Mad Love, only because I like to learn the backstory.
Mm-hmm. Depressing as hell to watch, though.
Yeah, but it does give me one of the best lines going. If you have to explain the joke, it's not funny.
There is no joke.
Exactly. It's a line which I have quoted, and people are like, okay, we're going to just take you away from the animated series for a while. No.
Although there's also the fact that there's also the infamous line that I've 2 infamous lines from Mad Love that I have quoted. One is, of course, why don't you just shoot him? And then, of course, you have no, not funny, been done. To Riddler.
There was a video that was showing around going, if the villain actually just business, and it's like the guy, and like it's one guy doing the whole thing. It's like the guy's playing the hero, and he's like, "What is your evil plan?" And he just doesn't say anything, and he just shoots him. And then he goes, "Okay, guys, we did well. I got reservations at Applebee's if anyone wants to come and enjoy our wins." And then the friend of the hero breaks the window, and he's like, "I'm here too." Wait a second, he's dead. You were supposed to explain your evil plot. Dude, you broke my window. Don't you know the rules, Villain 101? Dude, someone get Frank in here to get an estimate. I need an estimate to figure out how much that costs. You broke my window. He's pointing out all the tropes. He's like, Frank, get in here and get the estimate because he broke my damn window.
Motorcycle US dropped $2 saying, creepy, I always felt bad about Baby Doll. You?
Yes.
Same. That's another episode. That's another really good episode, but it's also a very sad, depressing episode, too. So,
Baby Doll is one of those villains from the Batman animated series that I also wish crossed genre like Harley Quinn. Because there is so much with her that you could do. I know there's another episode starring Baby Doll involving Killer Croc and her having issues finding love because she is a child. She looks like a child, but she's a full-grown woman. Spoilers.
But yeah, I forget what the disease is called, but she was
It's like I know it's similar to the disease that not Gary Coleman, not what you're talking about, Willis. The one from what was the other show that they adopted a black kid?
Webster.
That one. Mm-hmm. I think it might be the one that Webster had.
Why is that a trope?
What?
Why is that a trope?
Adopting a black kid?
Yes.
No, it's adopting a spunky little kid. So Punky Brewster gets also under that one.
Okay.
Right.
It was a very popular.
It was popular in the 80s, so yeah.
Woo. Robocat.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, you were doing that earlier, Decker, so.
He's doing it now on my end.
Yeah, same here.
He's going for it. Yeah. No, but I wonder if it was a way to try to convince people to adopt kids. Like, if you adopt a kid, it'll be like this.
If you adopt a kid, they won't turn out to be a psycho who goes around killing people and committing crimes. And
oh, Decker, you need to review The Orphan.
I was thinking of Problem Child, but okay.
That one too. But Orphan. The Orphan is.
I never liked the Problem Child movies. I just thought they were kind of. I don't know. I just felt like they were kind of mean.
Is Problem Child the one that's based around the book and they have the black. There's one about a girl who gets adopted. Apparently, her father was a murderer, and it was the whole commentary of nurture versus nature. It was a different
Problem
movie.
Child is a comedy that came out in the early 90s that was basically about a kid who was an amateur psycho, honestly. But he gets adopted by a family. The wife is kind of a bitch, but the husband is actually really likes him and wants to bond with him, and it just goes into this. It was kind of like trying to capitalize on Home Alone, I think, a little bit.
Oh, and what was that other one that was originally a newspaper comic?
Dennis the Menace.
That one.
Yeah. Dennis the Menace was less outright malicious and more just innocently troublesome, like mischievous. Caused trouble was certainly a handful, but less.
It's kind of funny though, because by the time the Dennis the Menace movie came out, the bar had been set so high.
Bingo.
It was kind of like Dennis the Mild Annoyance.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't Dennis the Menace find a dead body?
I don't think so. I don't think that was Dennis the Menace. I could be wrong though. But yeah, the irony is that by the time Dennis the Menace the movie came out, you had the Home Alone movies, the Problem Child movies, and all of the other like cheaper versions that were trying to capitalize on the whole, 10-year-olds who are amateur psychopaths.
Would I review The Good Son with Macaulay Culkin? If only to be, like, traumatized by the dog murdering scene.
Oh, yeah. That's no.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately, they don't show it, but they show it.
It's employed very well. It's like how you see the death of Dick Grayson's family. You know what I mean? In the Batman animated series, it's like, you don't see the bodies or them getting dead, but the implication, it hits you. It's like, oh, poor babies.
Oh, boy.
Oh, here's another one that I had forgotten about. A movie called House Arrest. And it was a comedy of sorts. Apparently, its one claim to fame nowadays is that it starred a very young Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Who? Oh, yeah, her.
Yeah.
I'm like, who's that? Oh, yeah, 90s.
Well, one thing that gets me in The Good Son is, like, why is everyone so stupid? I mean, Macaulay Culkin's character is not exactly subtle about how fucking evil he is. I mean, when he's around the adults, he does put on the baby face little, oh, I'm so sweet and innocent, but at the same time, it's like, he's there with his new friend, the other kids, and he's there like, yeah, I'm making a crossbow that fires death-shooting bolts of pain. We're gonna practice shooting at this dog. And the kid's like, oh, that's a very impressive thing there. And he's like, yeah, but it still needs to have its aim improved. And then they come back later, and then he actually shoots the dog. And he's like, how could he do that? It's like, geez, I wonder fucking how. Maybe because he fixed the aim.
Was The Good Son the one movie which has the guy who basically, at the end of the movie, spoiler, goes on a killing spree at his high school with a bow and arrow?
No.
I think that is. I remember watching someone review it, and he's like, I need all the alcohol in the world to get over this.
I remember the end of The Good Son, and it was this thing where after the son had gone out and, like, killed a bunch of other things, and it was all, fucking everything else, he was going to... Everyone was taking the kid who was actually good and was trying to warn them that the other kid's a fucking psychopath who's trying to murder people. They locked his ass up like, you're being bad. Stop. Which is, I can believe. And then Macaulay Culkin character there taking that kid's mother out, like, yeah, we're just gonna go for a fucking walk by the cliff. It's gonna be nice! And so the actual good kid has to, like, fight his way out of confinement to run down there and then try and save the mother, who then has to make the hard decision. Should I save the kid who saved my life? Or the one who is trying to murder me as we speak? What do I do?
Remember, Decker, when you're in a horror movie, your intelligence goes to, like, -2.
Oh boy.
Ugh.
So yeah, it's about the 3 hour mark now.
It is. Oh, it is. Hello,
It
little
is.
tiny clock in the middle of on the corner of my screen. How are you doing?
So yeah.
I forget that they exist.
So, Kat, what you got going on?
Ah!
That's great.
No. I'm almost done with the sketching of the comic. We're on the last page. Yay. But now we have the inking and the coloring and the lettering and the making of the covers and all that. But we also I have the thing with Diva. I know what the musical is. I haven't even worked on it yet because we haven't talked about what we're gonna do. But I'm just gonna give you a hint what the movie is. It's a movie that was originally a passion project made by this one animator, and then a lot of Miramax meddling happened, and yeah.
Oh god. Source Fierce asks, when's the next Stephen King drinking game? And Lone Dragon is like, well, time for the poll.
No.
Oh yeah, Twitter poll is a thing that's happened sometimes. Usually
I
every
even
single
gave
episode.
you
but
one, and you didn't do it. Shame on you.
Shame.
Shame.
I also have a few videos actually coming up on my channel of me playing video
Oh
games.
yeah, that's right. Motorcycle US. The evil kid was her actual son. Yeah.
So I also have a couple of gameplay videos coming up this weekend. Two of them will be House Flipper. Another one will be some Team Fortress 2, where I will be looking at a statue in honor of Rick May, who was an actor from Team Fortress 2 who played the soldier who died recently of Redacted. You may also know him as Pepe the Rabbit from what was the game?
Isn't it called Pepe? I don't know.
The rabbit in the use the boost to get through. That was his voice.
Oh. Star Fox.
Yeah, that one. He was that guy.
Oh,
Which I never know until his untimely death. So yeah, I was
Do a barrel roll.
also him. Yeah, but nothing. I need to find. I don't like playing video games by myself because I'm quiet the whole time. I need someone like this. I have to have a repertoire. So finding people who actually have video games that I also have that are willing to play with me and record.
Do you have EDF Iron Rain?
No, I do not have EDF Iron Rain. Do you have Killing Floor 2?
No, I do not have Killing Floor 2.
It is very good. It is $20 right now. Usually there's a sale whenever a big event happens. So
actually, EDF was like, what was it? It was less than $30 on.
Well, yeah, but I think the sale's over now.
No, the sale lasted until, let's see, it's March 9th. The sale lasted until something like March 15th or something like that. Or not
Can
March,
we also
May,
point
May.
out I'm an artist on commission that doesn't get a lot of commissions?
Yeah. Okay.
Let me see. I'm going to
And
search.
due to the Redbubble BS I've had to deal with lately, where half of all my big money-making things got taken down because Redbubble didn't think, hey, by the way, our contract with Cartoon Network kind of went up, so they're going to be putting down their copyright hawks. Even though our website says we still do stuff with Cartoon. I'm fine.
It's $60 right now. $60 for the basic edition, $90 for the ultimate edition.
Oh, okay. Yeah, never mind.
Killing Floor.
My apologies.
It's okay. I also have Team Fortress 2, which is a free game, which would be interesting to see Decker play.
I played a decent amount of Team Fortress Classic. Never played Team Fortress 2, though.
May I recommend it, and may I be your little
Which is funny, because
Jedi?
Team Fortress 2 was actually the free one.
No, Team Fortress 2 is the free one, yes.
It's...
Sorry, you blipped up halfway, and I thought you said Team Fortress Classic was the free one.
No.
No, 2 is free. It's free to play for all.
And they have hats.
So, yes, they have hats and weapons. So, Decker, if you ever want to get into TF2 and you want a little Navi annoyance to help you play, hi.
Do they have ants?
No, but there is Man vs. Machine where you
point?
get to kill a bunch of. There's Man vs. Machine. You get to kill a bunch of killer robots.
Have you seen that new survival game that's coming out for Xbox, where everyone's really tiny, trying to survive in their backyard, and you have to face giant ants?
No, I don't have an Xbox, so anything Xbox news I usually.
Well, technically I have an Xbox, but it doesn't do anything. It overheats a lot.
I was about to say it's a paperweight / doorstop, Decker.
It's a space heater.
I have
Without
the
a
Saints Row
fan.
games. I have the Saints Row games. I have Left 4 Dead 2. I have a few amount of multiplayer games, but that are technically cheap now because they're old. But the only problem is, again, finding people.
Okay.
See, as I do this little Cheshire cat grin at Decker, going, "Hi." You need videos for your gaming channel? I need videos for my channel.
Okay, so yeah, I got the.
Someone just Lone Dragon just asked about the game where you play as a tiny person to fight giants. Is Rick Moranis in it?
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Oh, do you get to fly on a giant bee?
I think maybe.
Ha, bee.
But what if the murder hornets show up in that? That'd be like.
Wait, Saints Row 5 is coming out? What? Sorry. Sorry, there's a rumored Saints Row 5. I don't know if I'm going to get it out as it first comes out. I need to get more information.
I've heard some rumblings of Saints Row 5, but I haven't seen anything.
That's the thing. If it's just rumble, I'm not going to care. I have Saints Row 2. The only problem is Saints Row 2. Can't do multiplayer on it anymore.
Well, maybe you can on Steam? I don't know. They recently released a patch. Wait, no, that has Game Spy, doesn't it? And therefore you can't.
That's why you can't. There's workarounds, but all of them involve coding and hurting my brain. Uh-oh. Creepy's typing something. 3 hours and 5 minutes. Oh, you're telling us how long we've been on.
Oh, yeah. I know we need to stop. And I'm trying to think. I think I already said what I had going on. But real quick, I got the crossover review with Creepy coming very soon. And then I'm also playing a lot of EDF. That's just my life. And the Wizard of Speed and Time is coming next. Well, after the crossover.
Right.
Even though it's very difficult to find because I could only get it on VHS.
I mean, it's not that bad.
I'll just jam it in my computer and hope my ripping software can handle it.
Yeah. I mean, if you got a good VHS converter, you'll be fine, hopefully. You don't have a good VHS converter, do you?
So, thank you all for joining us. I've been Decker Shadow.
I'm Cat Lanicia. Goodbye, foolish mortals.
I'm that long-haired creepy guy.
And remember, only the best games have huge frickin' bugs that will kill you. That's why I like Fallout 76 so much.
Or any Bethesda game.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.